The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Work begins on Carnival's Grand Bahama cruise port. The cruise line also building 2 new dry docks at the shipyard. The Ministry of Health says COVID fatigue driving the latest uptick as current vaccines are set to expire in the coming months. And police investigating another murder in the country. Plus, we are talking about cancer, the fight against cancer in the Bahamas. It's all straight ahead. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, May 13th, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll be talking with the Yellow Elder Community Association. They have a special event for mothers this weekend. And later, a Morning Blend business, we are talking the future of construction. You don't want to miss that discussion this morning. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. The overnight police investigating the latest homicide in the country. A man fatally shot on Butler's Alley yesterday off Carmichael Road. Police investigating that matter, appealing for everyone who knows anyone with a firearm to come forward as gun violence continues to plague New Providence. A 20-year-old man accused of trying to snatch a 7-year-old girl was remanded to prison. Alexander Coakley of Wolf Road faced a charge of attempted child stealing When he appeared before Magistrate Carrick Turnquest DeVoe, prosecutors alleged that Coakley attempted to steal the girl on March 30th, 2021. Coakley was not required to enter a plea to the charge. His next court appearance is on July 29th, when it's expected that prosecutors will present a voluntary bill of indictment, which will send the case to the Supreme Court for trial. Coakley is, again, 20-year-old, accused of attempted child stealing. Carnival Cruise Line starting construction on its $200 million cruise port in East Grand Bahama. The project expected to result in 1,000 permanent jobs and hundreds of construction jobs on the island. Carnival Cruise Line President Christine Duffy telling reporters following the ceremony in East Grand Bahama yesterday, the project will be complete before the end of 2024. She says it's not only a celebration and a groundbreaking, but also day one of construction, as the construction process begins immediately. The port is expected to facilitate the largest carnival vessel, the Mardi Gras, which is an XL-class ship, 345 meters, with a 6,600 passenger count. Duffy says the new port will be able to accommodate 2 ships at once. Minister of Tourism, Investments, and Aviation Chester Cooper says that he understands some Grand Bahamians' skepticism regarding the announcement of the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort, but he assures that the government will deliver for the island, and close the deal. And amid a continued increase in the number of COVID cases in the country in recent weeks, Ministry of Health and Wellness Registrar Philip Swan says COVID fatigue appears to be driving the latest uptick. He says there are people who are pushing for mask mandates to be removed, and some of them are just going along the way and removing the masks themselves. Swan's comments coming after several New Providence schools shut down campuses this week due to an increase in COVID cases and exposures among staff and students. Meanwhile, the vaccine uptake in the country continues to dwindle, and Vaccine Committee co-chair Dr. Danny Davis says that some batches of COVID-19 vaccines have expired and several more are set to expire over the next few months. He says at the rate at which we're consuming vaccines, if that uptake doesn't increase, once again we'll be faced with having vaccine doses that would expire. He says there are 2 batches of Pfizer that are in the country, and one expires at the end of May and the other at the end of August. Dave was unable to say exactly how many doses of the vaccine have expired. Overseas, the trial of a Russian soldier accused of killing a Ukrainian civilian opened today, the first war crimes trial since Moscow's invasion of its neighbor. Scores of journalists packed inside a small courtroom in the Ukrainian capital, where the suspect appeared in a small glass cage for the start of a trial that has drawn international attention amid accusations of repeated atrocities by Russian forces. The 21-year-old is accused of shooting a 62-year-old Ukrainian man in the head in a northeastern village of the country. He could get up to life in prison. The killing occurred in the early days of the war, when Russian tanks advancing on Kyiv were unexpectedly routed and tank crews retreated. The soldier, a member of a tank unit that was captured by Ukrainian forces, admitted that he shot the civilian in a video posted by the Security Service of Ukraine. He says he was ordered to shoot. The video statement is one of the first confessions of the enemy invaders, according to the Ukrainian Security Service, their words. The trial comes as Russia's campaign to take Ukraine's east slowly grinds on, but its invasion has resulted in widespread repercussions beyond the battlefield. And 6 people have died and 350,000 have been treated for a fever that has spread explosively across North Korea. That's according to state media today, a day after the country acknowledged a COVID-19 outbreak for the first time since the pandemic. North Korea likely doesn't have sufficient COVID tests and said it didn't know the cause of the mass fevers, but a big coronavirus outbreak could be devastating in a country with a broken healthcare system and an unvaccinated, malnourished population. The North Korean Central News Agency said that of the 350,000 people who developed fevers since late April, 162,200 have recovered. It said 18,000 people were newly found with fever symptoms on Thursday alone, and 187,800 are being isolated for treatment. One of the 6 people who died was infected with the Omicron variant, but it wasn't immediately clear how many of the total illnesses were COVID-19. North Korea imposed a lockdown Thursday after acknowledging its first COVID cases. Those reports said tests for an unspecified number of people came back positive for the Omicron variant. In sports, Bahamian track and field athletes Sean Milawebo and Evan Charlton and Anthony Strachan will kick off their 2022 Wanda Diamond League competition today, taking part in the Doha Diamond League competition of the Qatar Sports Club in Doha. Milawebo will be running in the 400 meters. Charlton will compete in the 100 meters hurdles. And Strachan will run in the 200 meters. All 3 women running in the World Athletic Indoor Championships in March, with Milawebo winning the gold medal in the 400 meters, Charlton winning silver in the 60-meter hurdles, and Strachan reaching the semifinals of the 60-meter dash. Strachan, who's arguably in the best shape of her career, is coming off a season's best time of 22.55 seconds in the 200 meters in Kingston last weekend, her best time in 8 years in that event. Early in the season, she ran a personal best of 10.99 seconds in the 100 meters, becoming just the 7th Bahamian in history to ever run under 11 seconds in the women's 100 meters. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Sports section. Not since Osborne Moxie in the 2004 Olympics in Athens, Greece, has the Bahamas had someone compete in the men's long jump at a global meet in athletics. That's about to change this summer as former St. John's College standout Laquan Nairn booking his ticket for the 18th biennial World Athletics Championships in Eugene, Oregon, qualifying with a massive leap of 8.22 meters in April. The qualifying standards for the Athletics World Championships are a bit more stringent this year as opposed to years past, but Nairn didn't let that stop him from going out there and doing what needed to be done to ensure he gets to compete. He will become the 5th athlete from the Bahamas to compete in the men's long jump at a senior global meet this summer, joining national record holder Craig Hepburn, Moxie, the late Joey Wells, and former junior sensation Raymond Higgs. Read more about this in today's Guardian Sports section as well. From the NBA, lots of action last night. The Miami Heat heading to the Eastern Conference Finals as they did away with the Philadelphia 76ers with a 99-90 win, giving the Heat a 4-2 win in that semifinal series, sending them straight to the conference final. They're waiting for the winner of Boston versus Milwaukee. And the Dallas Mavericks getting past the Phoenix Suns, 113-86. They're forcing a Game 7. Luka Doncic having his first victory in an elimination game. The Dallas superstar gets another one and another Game 7 to beat. He had 33 points in that game last night. And from the NFL to the Super Bowl winner goes the spoils of the opening the entire schedule at home. So the LA Rams will host the Buffalo Bills Thursday night, September 8th, to begin the 2022 season. It'll be a juicy matchup of a team generally considered the title favorite by odds makers in the Bills traveling to SoFi Stadium, where the Rams won the championship over Cincinnati in February. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for a first look at weather. In your first look at weather for this morning, brought to you by BTC, we've got streaming tropical moisture combined with multi-level troughing that's going to produce unsettled weather across the islands through tonight. A tight pressure gradient is generating fresh to moderate breezes across the central and southeastern islands as well. Boaters should be alert for possible waterspout activity. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents and possible rough surf, mainly along Atlantic shorelines in the central and southeast Bahamas, and residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas should take special precautions during heavy and prolonged rainfall events because of the risk of flooding. So, for the northwest Bahamas today, look for variably cloudy to occasionally overcast conditions with isolated showers and a few thunderstorms through tonight. Showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Wind southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, but gusty at times. Seas 2 to 4 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to occasionally overcast and breezy, with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Smoke-craft advisories in effect. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 15 to 25 knots, but gusty at times. Seas 5 to 8 feet. We're looking at high temperatures getting around to about 82 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to around 66 Fahrenheit, 19 Celsius. That's your very first look at weather this morning. We'll tell you about how wet this weekend will get in your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. Your first look at weather brought to you by BTC. Are you a BTC postpaid customer? Postpaid customers get a free device when renewing any postpaid contract. Visit any BTC location to renew your postpaid contract and get your free device today. You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
You know that it's start off the end of the old way. Wake up.
I bank wherever I want thanks to Scotia Online and Mobile. I bank from my garden. I bank from my living room. I also bank from my kitchen. No need to wait in line. Now when I bank with Scotia, I bank on my own time. Seniors, you too can bank your way any time of day without ever going into a branch. Find out more. To get started, visit bs.scotiabank.com/digital seniors.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic. Your destination for care, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
It's back! One of the biggest regattas on the sailing calendar. It's the 53rd Annual Long Island Regatta in Salt Pond, Long Island, June 1st to 4.
Yeah!
The biggest economic boost for Long Island is back with more than 40 sloops competing in the A, B, C, and D classes, along with the Long Island Youth Regatta and the Man in the Boat sculling races. Don't miss this major cultural experience June 1st to 4th, the 53rd Annual Long Island Regatta in Salt Pond. All of the fastest sloops will be there. Artisans displaying their handmade crafts, jewelry, and scrollwork. Great food, including the world-famous native mutton dishes, and endless memories all await you at the 53rd Annual Long Island Regatta in Salt Pond.
Long Island Your sheep are bleating.
Guardian Media will be broadcasting live at the 53rd Annual Long Island Regatta with live updates of the sailing results and activities every day. If you'd like to be a sponsor, just contact your account executive or call the Nassau Guardian at 302-2300. That's 302-2300. Yes, it's back. One of the biggest regattas on the sailing calendar. It's the 53rd Annual Long Island Regatta in beautiful South Point, Long Island, June 1st to 4th.
Yeah, sponsored by Lickety Split and Fun Food.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Imagine driving your dream car, doing all the things you never thought you could, like perfecting your parallel parking skills or picking up your date. Everyone loves to dream. Stop dreaming. Start driving with a brand new offer from Scotiabank. With an auto loan from Scotiabank, benefit from no payments for up to 2 months, a low interest rate up to 9 years to repay, and free insurance for the first year up to 2.5% of the loan amount. Promotion ends June 30th, 2022. Stop dreaming and start driving today with an auto loan from Scotiabank.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Stephen Hanna. Good morning, Stephen.
Hey, Mono, what's up?
We are right here. Hope you're doing well.
Good. Oh, dude, was that a question or is that a statement?
No, I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, man. Living life.
That's excellent. That's excellent. We have a lot to talk about this morning, and we'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a bit. Coming up, we've got more weather. A lot of weather happening. A lot of bad weather expected. Wet weather, at least, this weekend, beginning today. And I'm going to tell you all about that, of course, and traffic. And in our 7 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking about early detection and screening, the importance of that when it comes to cancer. And later in our 8 o'clock hour, the Yellow Elder Community Association, they are hosting a special event this weekend. They're going to tell us all about that, honoring mothers. As we still, Mother's Day, just on Sunday, so we're still honoring mothers. And later in Morning Blend Business, we're going to have a special discussion about the future of construction, some new innovations, some trends that could potentially be game changers, big changes. So we're going to get into all of that this morning. A lot to get to on this Friday. But let's begin with what's in the news. And in the news, police investigating the country's latest murder. Happened yesterday. A man found dead on Butler's Alley off Carmichael Road. Police say they are still waiting to notify the next of kin and to fully identify the victim. And they are trying to piece together the circumstances leading to his death. That happened shortly after the police, at least, reported receiving reports of a shooting shortly after 3 p.m. Police also making an appeal to the public to let them know if they know somebody with firearms, as we've had a surge in fatal shootings in the last few months. And even in broad daylight, that hasn't made a difference in many years, but yeah. So that's happening there. Okay. The other big story yesterday, the groundbreaking for the Carnival Cruise Port, and also day one as the work began that day. Our Jasper Ward's in Freeport, and that Carnival Cruise Line port, they started construction on that $200 million cruise port in East Grand Bahama yesterday. The project expected to result in 1,000 permanent jobs and hundreds of construction jobs on the island. Carnival Cruise Line President Christine Duffy telling reporters following a ceremony yesterday that the port will be completed before the end of 2024. And that port is expected to facilitate the largest Carnival vessel, the Mardi Gras, which is an XL-class ship, 345 meters in length with a 6,600 passenger capacity. And Duffy says the new port will be able to accommodate 2 ships at once, plus 2 new dry docks will be built at the shipyard. So some more exciting news, day 2 of exciting news for Grand Bahama. And for a couple people asking yesterday, where was Prime Minister Davis? Well, he came back for this one, definitely, and helping to break ground. And in a creepy photo, feeding Carnival President Christine Duffy some cake. I don't know what that was all about, but anyway, hey, everybody looked like they were having a great time, so that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So the enthusiasm is slowly getting there for Grand Bahama, and we're expecting more great news on the airport and the hospital. So it's encouraging, definitely encouraging signs. So we continue to hope and pray for the best for Grand Bahama and everybody there. All that's happening while we are seeing some surges in COVID, just like many parts of the world. And the Ministry of Health has some theories as to why that's happening. Take a listen to what they think is going on in this report from our Jasmine Brown.
I think it's more related to COVID fatigue. There are persons who are pushing for mask mandates to be removed, and some of them are just going on the way and moving those mask mandates themselves.
The Ministry of Health registrar's comments came after several New Providence schools shut down campuses this week due to an increase in COVID-19 cases and exposures among staff and students. A Ministry of Health statement indicates that as of May 10th, 38 cases have been reported in schools in the previous 4 weeks. It stated, these cases were dispersed over a number of schools and represent a small portion of the overall COVID-19 caseload. The ministry also confirms that no clusters have been reported within schools in the Family Islands, but the Ministry of Health says it did not recommend the closure of any schools.
Schools are part of the community. The numbers of schools that we have, a number of cases rather, that we have experienced or been reported from schools are not to a threshold where we feel the school needs to be shut down in order to control anything, because there's no outbreak or anything in the schools.
Dr. Swan was also asked about the decision to grant permission for a weekend of carnival events that includes a beach fete and road march. The number was 500 that they applied for initially. They applied for 500. I say it because they said it. They applied for 500. Actually, they approved for 300 to 500. We were generous and gave them 500. We don't make typos on those type of applications. It might be addressed to the wrong person,
but it ain't gonna be the wrong number. And we've looked at other events that we would have approved in smaller confines, sketching, say that's static, and make a determination as to whether or not we feel this event is substantially more risky than the other event. And again, the approval to have the event is just that, the approval to have the event. It's not a waiving of any of the public health measures that we've asked persons to adhere to.
With health officials giving the go-ahead for the 3-day carnival event, which is slated to happen in less than 2 weeks, Dr. Swan urged attendees to be responsible. Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Okay. Let's get your views on it, folks. COVID fatigue. People just taking it upon themselves to no longer wear masks. It seems very lax, to be honest. What do you make of it? What do you make of it? And he's saying that things haven't gotten bad enough for schools to be closed down, but some of the schools have done that. They've taken it upon themselves, and there was Stephen Dillon did it for the rest of the week, didn't they? Let's get your reaction to that. What do you think's happening here? We keep hearing people say we've got to live with it, and it's going to be like the cold and like the flu, and there will be cases, and that's how it is, and we just have to carry on.
I mean, yes. I think it is. It's just a matter. It's a matter of balance. Does that make sense? Because I think that's what everybody's trying to figure out now. Like, where exactly is the line between we don't do certain things and let's just see if we can power through it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, there's still deaths. 2 reported. These are from April, though. 2 deaths reported yesterday in the latest dashboard. A 67-year-old woman from Grand Bahama on April 1st and an 81-year-old man from Grand Bahama on April 29th. And there's still people in the hospital. There are 9 cases and 9 all moderately ill, 7 of them at Princess Margaret Hospital, 2 at Grand Bahama Health Services. So it's still a serious situation, but not serious enough for closures, shutting down, of course. Well, while that's...
the question is, like there clearly still should be... I think part of the issue is here that we still have a bunch of people who are trying to get back to what was in 2019. And I think that the one lesson that we should have learned from COVID is that I don't think we could ever go back to 2019. But this insistence of going back to 2019 is going to be a hindrance. So we have to move forward. But at the same time, there must be some sort of compromise between, we still want to hang out, but we have to hang out in a certain way. Or it's better for us to hang out in a certain way. You know what I mean? Or with the education system. The education system, there was an attempt with the LMS or whatever they call that online learning platform, but it wasn't prepared for this. Right? And it feels as though that the resources may not be there. So instead of beefing that up, we're trying to get back to face-to-face 100%. But face-to-face 100% was teetering in 2019 in the first place. Because you had one teacher to 30, 40 students, you already had an issue. You know what I'm saying? So, you didn't need a plague to make that a problem. You already had a problem. Yeah, so I don't feel like necessarily everybody was or is trying to adapt. And I think that's what needs to be happening. It's easy enough to say, we have to live with it. But at the same time, that's and I'm sure that every doctor is probably going to roll their eyes at me when AIDS was around and people was like, oh, no, it's the end of the world. We learned to live with its existence, but it didn't mean we didn't change our behaviors. Like, we have to adapt in order to overcome this type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's necessarily happening.
Let's get your reaction to it, folks. Give us a call. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Got these text messages coming in. Someone says here, I got more masks, Lysol, and alcohol. I ain't letting my guard down. That's one. Another person says he's talking about people taking it upon themselves to remove masks, but yet they gave information for the hotels to remove masks. On top of that, if you do some checking, you will see that a lot of hotel workers are testing positive. Yeah, we've been talking about that quite a bit, the mixed messages that sends. And those hotel workers, some of them aren't wearing masks either, right? And they come into the community. And, this person says, Dwight, a lot of Bahamians believe the virus is going away, but they are wrong. Let's continue to follow the protocols, wearing our masks, sanitizing, and stay away from large gatherings. This virus is still out there. Let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Dwight. All is well?
Yes, good morning.
And good morning. Good morning. Stephen, I don't agree with you with a lot of things, but this morning I gave you 110% what you say.
Of course. Should I be concerned?
Yes, sir. Mr. Strachan, listen. I don't care what you come on the radio and say. I don't care how much the country is open up. If we as individuals take self-responsibility, there's nothing happening. You know something? What I don't understand is that we now have what you call freedom, that we can move around, we can do things. Business can be open up 24 hours, wash houses, gas stations, whatever business. How is it, Mr. Strachan, or why is it that some Bahamian people don't want to abide by wearing a mask? Okay. If I was the government, and I can push this, and I don't care who here this morning, that the government needs to push where you find some of these people for $25. It ain't no or my mask in the car or my mask in the pocket. No, you don't. When the police see you without a mask or the COVID patrol people see you, $25. Or if you can't pay the $25, okay. You clean up on the side of the road. See, Dwight, listen. Some people in this country, Mr. Strachan, you have to understand, do not understand the word English. So the only way to get through to some people, so the few who don't understand English, that the majority can live a decent life in this country, is to deal with them in a different way. Because, we have our freedom people, and these people, you tell them wear the mask, Mr. Strachan. I ain't wearing no mask. I ain't scared of no COVID. Well, okay. If you are not wearing a mask, think about the next person or the persons that you're amongst. Sometimes, Dwight, I go inside shops, food stores, and the cashiers they got their mask way down by their chin. Like, it's like everybody just letting down the guard. But I can leave this with you. The sad part about this Bahamian people is a saying say, when you get catch with your pants down, hypothetically speaking, you know what has happened. But you have a good day, brother.
Okay. I don't know. Do you know? I shouldn't have left us there hanging. Pardon the pun. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
All right. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Well, good morning.
Hi.
I think that's Dwight. I'm a Dwight also.
Mm-hmm.
I don't totally agree with what he's saying now in the statement though. If you don't want to wear, well, let me put it to you this way. If I'm walking, why do I need to wear a mask if I'm by myself?
You mean outside?
Yeah, I'm outside. I'm walking. So you want me to walk around with a mask on? Nobody around me. I'm driving in my car. I must wear a mask while I drive. So that's why I don't agree with him that anytime a police see him or see a person, no, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that either.
That's really stretching it.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, that's my advice. Sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We have to exercise some discretion indeed. But I do get his point. But I don't know if he means outside. You're walking on the sidewalk. Yeah. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Glenn.
Hi.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yes.
Well, I'm looking at this combination of Davis and Cooper. $1 million here, $2 million there. I think this is a perfect fit. And Bahamians should really get behind this team. Non-political. You don't get the politics. Just support the power that's moving right now in this country. And we should do well. But I would recommend we individualize our thinking and focus on the real major threats that African Americans have to deal with: heart disease, cancer, and COVID. We need to focus on that. Keep your mask on. Keep your mask on. And if you want to make some money right now trading, AUDCAD, AUDCAD, next 15 minutes, just buy it. Have any crypto genius to tell me I'm wrong. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay. Oh boy. And caller, good morning. You are on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
I got one question to ask you. Why would we want to go back to 2019? Anything? Let's look at tourism. I don't want to go back to the few million tourists we had. We're right next door to 400 million people, and they have money. How is it in the world that we can't get 20 million tourists here? They've been cooped up in a cage to want to get out. Are we not marketing properly? Let's look at education. How is it that I sat on a television station in 2010 and told the TV host to get us digitally prepared, giving iPad to every student for distance education, using touch technology to train the kids for the conceptual economy that would be here in 2017? It's 2022. Some people are embracing the conceptual economy, Airbnb, etc. How is it that I'm driving on a broke-up road in a country that, according to the Honorable Brent Simon, it says trades $3 trillion a year? Now it needs to be taxed. That's $1 billion a day. Let's stop the crazy, Dwight. I'll wrap up with this. If no politician, FNM or PLP, could call the show after me and tell me how to pay off the national debt and balance the budget before Christmas, remove them. We're wasting our money. Have a good day.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We'll take this call and then we'll get to your messages. Good morning, caller. You are on the air. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Stone. How you doing?
Doing well.
Oh, Mr. Stone, this morning a little off now. Because now, Mr. Stone, if they was blaming Bahamians for not wearing masks, you know much more us would have this COVID than what he's saying. Why we can't just get to the point and talk about the travelers? The travelers is the problem, Mr. Stone, not the people. Because they keep on blaming the individual people and they ain't blaming the travelers back and forward. Am I right with that or am I wrong with that?
Well, some of the travelers are Bahamians too.
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
It's the Bahamian who traveling back and forward. They blaming everybody who wearing a mask. You know, you could be by yourself with a straw in your car. You don't have to have a mask on. You with your whole family, you all together back and forth. What you all need masks on for? If you with a coworker all day, eventually Mr. Stone, is the place where that thing coming from. The people who running to go there. The tourists would come here, who ain't wearing masks, inside the hotel. Those people got to interact with them, and then they got to go back home to their family and the community. You and Stephen have a nice day.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, so let's get to some of your messages here. Somebody says here, all this shows is that people have more regard for laws in the United States than their own. Now that measures are being relaxed in the U.S., we see people taking the stance that if it's good for the states, it's good for the Bahamas. Oh, my goodness. Is that what's going on? Okay. This text, this is about Carnival. Regarding that Carnival cruise port development for Grand Bahama, that is fantastic for Grand Bahama. That project has been in the making for almost 2 years. The Minutes administration ought to be commended for securing that major investment. Okay. Sure. Yes, indeed. And they could have been a part of the groundbreaking if they called the election for May. It could have happened right then, and then the election would have been next week. But it didn't happen that way. Oh, well. Okay. But yeah, sure, we commend them. Another one says, drive downtown on any given day. Tourists are allowed to walk around with no mask. None. And the police do nothing. Another text here. Dwight, you're correct. As a nation, it's time to continue living as normal with the virus. Did I say that? I didn't quite say that. I said, okay. When considering the data that has been collected, there are a few truths which we should be cognizant of. Transmission, even at the highest surges, is less than 7%. The virus's strains are significantly weaker. Whether through natural immunity or vaccine, the virus is proven to be less severe, and the at-risk group is primarily impacted with more severe symptoms. These are the people who need to be addressed more so than the others. It's time to manage this endemic as such. In the same way COVID fatigue is creeping up, the COVID fear-mongering needs to also subside. Okay. Interesting points there. This person says here, I've heard that the mask scientifically is only 2% effective, so really it should be optional. However, we should always sanitize and keep social distance.
See, I feel like that's a part of the problem, where everybody is concerned about how much stuff is hampering them versus, how much they're helping their community. Because let's say worst case scenario that the mask is only 2% effective. You're 2% and then 10 other people 2% inside a food store where ain't nothing, ain't no open windows, the air being circulating all day. People coming in there sweaty and in all sorts of health conditions. The only thing that they used to do was they used to check your temperature. Those 2%, I feel, can add up. And it's not going to be just a 2% situation. You think about 2% for yourself, but if you live in a community, you have to think that 2% isn't your 2%. That 2% is a part of a much larger number. And so I'm not saying if it is 2%. I don't think that number is correct. But part of this has to be compromised, all right? And so, by all means, I don't think that anybody who is walking outside in the open air by themselves needs to put on a mask. But definitely, like the way to say it, and other persons have said, you go inside some of these food stores, and I see customers, as soon as they get in the food store, taking off the mask in the middle of the aisle for no reason. And it's I'm telling you, I see people where, because you still can't go in buildings without a mask on. So people will put the mask on to go inside. This one is only one. It's Super Value. It's only one. It's only one food store in the country, right? Mm-hmm. So they go in, and as soon as they pass the security guard and they get through an aisle and they think they're by themselves, they will take the mask off and have it hanging off for 1 hour. And if somebody comes through the aisle, then they'll quickly try to pull it back up, oh yeah, and it's you're missing the point. Mm-hmm. And even if you never get sick, that might be because you are so healthy. All right? And from the beginning of this whole entire pandemic, regardless of what side you fell on, if you believe the vaccine is the mark of the beast, or if you thought that, listen, technology has brought us this far, let's see where else it could take us. Whatever position you took, this has always been a situation where this isn't about specifically you. This is about us. Mm-hmm. You have to think for other persons, because some other people cannot handle what you can handle. Right. You may be a superhuman. Perhaps you've been drinking bush tea all your life, and your immune system is off the charts. They should study you. They should kidnap you. The CIA should take you into a lab and dissect your body so that we could move science ahead by 50 years.
While you're alive?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying perhaps that's how healthy you are. But for the rest of us who've been eating bacon sandwiches made out of 40% bacon and mayonnaise for 2 decades now, we aren't as healthy as you. Mm-hmm. And while we may try to catch up to you with the level of how healthy you are, in this interim, in this transition, we have to think about others.
Yeah. But that's the problem, right? That's what we saw during the last 2 years, especially in the early days. People say, well, that's on you. That's your problem. You should have been, and it's survival of the fittest. And many have held that attitude.
COVID is only bringing that to the forefront. That is how we feel about a lot of things because there are persons. Remember when NHI first was announced, all those years ago? There were people who were complaining, why should I have to pay a tax because you want to eat chicken and fries every night? And it's like, it's not that simple why some people are sick. You know? And it's like, it's not that people are choosing to be sick. It's that some people choose things that make them sick, but some people are sick by no fault of their own, and some people are sick by fault of their own and out of ignorance. But the fact that you don't care about fellow members of society means that you don't care about society. And in the same way where we look down on somebody walking downtown, cursing and screaming and making noise and saying, oh, this is an embarrassment, I know people are supposed to act. You're doing the same thing just quietly in a more cowardly way by not caring about society.
Well, let's take this call really quickly, and then we want to get to another report here about what's going on in this COVID fight. No, we lost them? Okay. All right. So you mentioned vaccines, and do people care about that anymore? Are we into vaccines anymore? Because we've got vaccines expiring, and it's and more to come or to go in the trash can, it appears. Take a listen to this report from our Tashina Robinson.
As the vaccine uptake continues to dwindle, batches of COVID-19 vaccines have expired and several more are set to follow suit over the next few months. That's according to co-chair of the Vaccine Committee, Dr. Danny Davis, who says vaccine uptake has slowed considerably.
At the rate at which we are consuming vaccines, invariably, if that doesn't increase, I think we will see once again we'll be faced with having vaccines doses that would have expired, and we would stop administering those doses. There are two batches that we have in country, and one expires at the end of May and the other at the end of August.
Dr. Davis was unable to say how many doses of the COVID-19 vaccine have expired. The Bahamas launched its COVID-19 vaccination campaign in March 2021. Since the start of the vaccination program, the government has obtained more than 300,000 doses of Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, and Pfizer. However, Davis says the only vaccine available now is Pfizer. He provided a breakdown of the country's vaccinated population.
To date, we have 51.3% of the eligible population in the Bahamas fully vaccinated. Of that number, 46.2% of them are the males, and 51.7% are the eligible females in the country, giving us a total of 165,837 persons fully vaccinated in the country. With regard to persons vaccinated who've received either one or two doses outside the country, that total amounts to 7,272 individuals.
Our Tashina Robinson with that report there. Okay, so what do we make of that? What does that mean? Are people just giving up? And I was like, whatever. I'm hearing a lot of people tell me that they aren't interested in getting the booster, or they got a booster and they aren't interested in getting another booster, even though it is widely accepted and expected that we're going to be asked to do this like every year, like the flu shot. What's happening here, and what do we do? Do we do anything? Is that just fine, or what? Let's get your view on this. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. In that report, well, at least in one of the reports I saw, where they talk about. Did you talk about in that report we just played about how the campaigns they had to get people vaccinated weren't as successful as they hoped? Yeah, and
what's the percentage? Like, what's the saturation rate of people who've been vaccinated inside the country?
Let's see if I can pull it up. Why do you ask? While they look for it, go on.
Oh no, because I just want to know, like, did we reach 50, to reach 60, what percentage did we reach for that part? And then, because then I hear you saying people are like they're not going to take the booster. But I mean, I know people who didn't get the first shot yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And far be it from, like, I know that the general idea is usually that persons who are like ultra conservative or like conspiracy theorists are like undereducated persons who dropped out of junior high school or whatever, and they don't know nothing. But it's like these are people who've been to college and have master's degrees, and it's like they have the same level of fear and concern as the craziest call-in.
Yeah. All right. So according to the latest, this is from Monday. People fully vaccinated in the country, including with J&J, 165,884. So if we go by, we keep hearing, right, that we're about 400,000. So that's just under half. Under half. So they've administered 343,327 doses, but 165,884 fully vaccinated. So
is that more or less than the amount of people who voted last election? That's completely. That's right.
Oh my! All right, let's take this call and hear what you have to say about it. What's your take on this? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. That's Stephen.
Yes, it is.
Let me tell you something, Dwight. Somebody called me from the operating place on Monday on my phone. Take a booster shot.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, lady straight and plain, I said, miss, I only take those shot because I wanted to travel. I say, I will not take no booster shot because right now, Dwight, I never even took a flu shot in my life. And I only took them those vaccinated because I normally try to go to Port Lauderdale every year or twice a year. So I tell a woman, I'm fine, I'm good. And many people I know haven't even taken any shots yet. So I take my call, my brother.
And you're going to stick to that. You're not going to take the booster at all.
Yeah, no booster, no booster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in taking all these things to begin with. Like I said, I only took those shots because I wanted to travel.
Yeah.
You understand? Like I never even taken a flu shot on my 60 years one side.
Aren't they saying that you need to be fully vaccinated and boosted too? Haven't I heard that before? No, that's what some places are requiring.
I ain't taking them off. I ain't putting more chemicals in my body.
Oh dear. Okay.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Interesting. Getting a message from a friend around my age. Can I get a second booster? I'm ready. Well, I think they said this week that for people who are vulnerable, they are available now, right? Here. This texter got theirs. I'm 64 and I got my second booster shot yesterday and I'm feeling great. Okay. There you go. This person says, I'm personally not interested in getting a booster for a vaccine that we're not sure about regarding long-term effects. This texter says, these Israelites wanted freedom, so they got it. Deal with it. No need for them to cry now. Okay. Hi. One more call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, caller. Good morning.
How you doing?
Doing well.
You and your guest. Now, Dwight, I can put you on blast a little bit this morning.
Me?
Yeah, you. If I did listen to a Born and Blend for 3 years, almost 2.5 years, with concerning this booster shot, Dwight, I think I would have been confused, crazy, half gone, because after 2.5 years, Dwight, you mean to tell me you all ain't know exactly which direction you all need to go in now with reference to this booster shot? My question to you and the public out there is, hello?
Yeah, we're listening.
My question to you all and the public at large out there is, yeah, we had some people that died and stuff, yeah, because they had extreme comorbidities. We accept that. But you name me the man or the woman that can make something out there that can, it is better than what God has sent us with, the Almighty. I'll show you God. You bring me that man. Because someone, I always call and tell you, ain't nobody out there got more comorbidities than me. I ain't take no booster shot and I done been through COVID twice. The system that God has sent us with is key. That is it. We don't need no more panicking and no more this and no more that, right? We need to focus on our immune system, focus on eating right, and that's all we need, right? Thanks for taking my call.
Okay. Boy, I hear you. All right. There you go. There you go. So these are all going to expire. I guess that's that. Should they order more if they do? I mean, or for the few people who want to be boosted up every year, or should we just say, well, that's when you allow the private entities to handle it? Is that what we should do from going forward? Because this is costing us money. Just say, fine, after this, since you all aren't interested, we just will, that's the end of that, and go to your private doctor and pay your private doctor to get vaccinated. Is that where we go? As we go to the break, a couple of messages. This person says, I traveled yesterday. Nobody required a mask on the plane. No mask required at the airport in the U.S. And the people in the States wearing masks are in the minority. Another one here. I'm fully vaccinated, but I'm not taking any boosters. And this one says here, please ask the Ministry of Health when they will receive the AstraZeneca vaccine. There are a lot of people who are waiting boosters and would prefer that over Pfizer. That's a good question. Yes, we need to ask them that. And another one here. I hope for the caller who says he's not taking any chemicals in his body, I hope he isn't drinking sodas and beers. Okay. When we come back, Rodney Monker is in the paper today criticizing the hypocritical media for questioning his qualifications, and he's revealing his salary. We're going to read that for you. And what bus drivers are saying. That's coming up after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Ooh-dee-la-dee-do, thank you all for coming. I hope you like the show, cause it's on a budget. So ooh-dee-la-dee-do, yeah. Come on, here we go, yeah. Come on. Here we go. So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody come hang. Let's go out with a bang. I'm way too young to lie here forever. I'm way too old to try, so whatever, come hang.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
7:32 the time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. For all of life's moments, there's one Visa Classic credit card. A reminder of the work going on is expected to be winding down, but it's still letting you know about it. That's Prospect Ridge and Prospect Road, the milling and paving work going on there. That's expected to continue. And you're advised to avoid the area if you can, but if not, to follow the posted traffic signs. Again, that's Prospect Ridge and Prospect Road. In your real-time traffic this morning, we're seeing that heavy traffic on Mile Butler Highway just north of Fire Trail at this hour. And that's in the northbound lanes heading to the roundabout with Tonic Williams Darling Highway. Gladstone Road is looking like a better alternate route for you at the moment. Just as you get closer to JFK Drive, you'll see that in the northbound lane, that heavy traffic in the northbound lane there. Building traffic on Carmichael Road westbound to Coral Harbor Road and eastbound to Blue Hill Road. Blue Hill Road already busy for you. Just north of Soldier Road in the northbound lanes heading to the roundabout with Independence Drive. Independence Drive westbound to that roundabout are also backed up quite a ways. East Street between the Independence Drive East-West Highway roundabout and the intersection with Soldier Road is busy for you in the northbound lanes. And we're seeing some traffic building on Prince Charles Drive, especially near Elizabeth Estates. And some slight congestion at the intersection of Village, Wolf, Soldier, and Bernard Road. That's what we're seeing so far. We'll have another real-time report for you after the 8 o'clock news, but that's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and PIN security with your RBC Visa Classic credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses and apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic. And at 7:35, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Inventive Intellect. We've got streaming tropical moisture combined with multi-level troughing, producing unsettled weather across the country today through tonight. A tight pressure gradient is generating fresh to moderate breezes across the central and southeastern islands as well. So boaters are being advised to be alert for possible waterspout activity. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents and rough surf, mainly along Atlantic shorelines in the central and southeastern Bahamas. And everyone in low-lying and flood-prone areas should be alert during heavy and prolonged rainfall events because of the risk of flooding. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, variably cloudy to occasionally overcast conditions with isolated showers and a few thunderstorms through tonight. Showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to occasionally overcast and breezy with widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. We're looking at high temperatures getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 66 Fahrenheit, 19 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a very wet weekend expected, as that streaming moisture combined with troughing will remain across the islands, producing showers and thunderstorms over the next 2 days. So for tomorrow, Saturday, partly cloudy to overcast, a bit breezy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Sunday, partly cloudy to overcast, a bit breezy again with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Inventive Intellect, specializing in personalized items, customized items like pillows, ceramic mugs, frosted mugs, mirrored photo frames, t-shirts, acrylic frames, blankets, and more. Contact them at 676-5811 or 821-9457 today. Inventive Intellect.
Even when dining out is kind of predictable. Will that be all, miss?
No, I would like that double-decker caramel chocolate cheesecake.
Sometimes you need to make a classic move. That's why for all of life's moments, there's one classic credit card. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and pin security with your RBC Visa Classic Credit Card. Manage your day-to-day expenses. Apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic and enjoy 1 year's free membership. Conditions apply.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Biggie Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, fat inclusive. Add an apple pie for just $1 more. Say what? At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
You're always on the go. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, First Caribbean, you can count on us. We make life easier. Manage your accounts at any time. Apply more loan. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with choices that suit you. CIBC, First Caribbean.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carved body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Switch for better when you move your mortgage to Scotiabank. Leave behind that old mortgage plan and open the door to a low interest rate. No payments for up to 2 months and cash back of 2.5% of the mortgage amount up to US $10,000. And guess what? It gets better. Apply for your Scotiabank credit card and enjoy a low 9.99% introductory rate for the first 6 months. Switch for better and upgrade your mortgage today with Scotiabank. Offer ends June 30th, 2022.
Wake up today.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. Okay. Do I want to read this text? This is so bizarre. Let's get your mic up there. This person says here, okay, brace yourselves for this one, folks. Oh, my Lord. Ask the people who want us to get tested and vaccinated to get an HIV test and provide the results before engaging in sexual intercourse with someone. Because plenty people sick with AIDS scorning people who aren't vaccinated. What's more dangerous, deadly, and has a more long-lasting emotional, physical, and mental effect on someone and those closely related to that person, intimately or otherwise.
I think that, but I know that they think that they're saying something wild and crazy, but isn't that what you're supposed to do? Aren't people who are sexually active supposed to know their status before they engage in sexual activity with other people? What the person is recommending is actually what is recommended by all medical professionals. Mm-hmm. So I know they think that they're saying something wild and crazy, but I mean, yes, you should. You should do that if you are a person who is sexually active, particularly with more than one partner. You definitely should constantly be getting tested to see what all, and not just HIV, but all, the whole gamut.
Let's not follow them down.
No, it's not a following thing. It's it's important that this person know, because clearly this person thinks that only certain people should get tested for AIDS. They should probably go get tested for that at the same time they go get tested for COVID.
Yeah.
Because clearly they've been doing it very wrong.
Okay.
People are like, if I drink a Guinness, I can't get AIDS.
Oh, dear Lord. All right, so I want to get to this, and I want to get to what the bus drivers are saying as well. So Rodney Monker, this was many days of discussions about this, unfortunately. But he recently spoke to the media, and now he's written something.
He can write.
Printed in the papers today. So listen to this, folks. He talks about his salary as well. I wish to make a clarion call to the media to stop harassing me about my appointment as an independent contractor in the Ministry of National Security. There I was at the most solemn ceremony and wreath laying to honor those who lost their lives on the HMBS Flamingo, when this young woman approached me to talk about man raping his wife. Oh my God, what's happening? I wanted to talk about making a petition to posthumously bestow the honor on these fine young men. Rape and wife should not be in the same sentence. Will she still be his wife when he's serving time for rape? Who will support the children and the home while he's serving time, and will the woman become an adulteress? What's happening? I say when the judge is ruling on the rape charge, the divorce should be finalized at the same time.
Sure, why not?
Then there was the question of my qualifications as an independent contractor for the Ministry of National Security. The newspaper advertised on Monday, May 9th, 2022, 4 available contractual positions in the Ministry of National Security. Really?
Clearly, he reads the newspaper more than the rest of us.
What? Oh, okay. Will this newspaper seek out those persons who were hired to test their qualifications? Will they be in a position to determine if they meet the needs of the organization? Vacancy for the post of Health and Safety Manager at the Ministry of National Security. The salary for the post is $50,000 per annum. The appointment will be contractual.
Go back. He's Health and Safety?
I don't know if he's saying that he is. Well, he's talking about the other posts. Did he put these in there? Because he was hired before me. Right, so.
Oh, no, he's saying that other posts have been posted, and are you guys going to question
so he isn't talking about his salary.
All right, so
but
how much is that?
These are all ranging from $35,000 to $50,000, so we can get an idea of how much he's making there.
No, we don't.
No.
That doesn't tell me anything.
With the minimum.
It doesn't tell me anything.
The minimum? No? We can assume.
That tells me zero. That tells me absolutely nothing. And here's the thing. Honestly,
Well, let me finish it first, and then, so he goes through these and what they're looking for and blah, 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 blah. Just look at the hypocrisy of the press. They don't want me to have anything. Are they going to double-check the qualifications of the persons who get these jobs, or will they be asking why these positions could not be filled from among internal staff? Nobody's asking why Defense Force officers are used as a catch-all for all of the security and peacekeeping jobs, but when the opportunity comes up for them to gain specialized skills that could be used when they retire, they need not apply.
I don't know what that. You got to explain that. If you know something, if you know something, say something.
That just is very random. Okay.
No, I don't think anybody's ever complained about that with defense officers. That's the first thing. Number two, what are you talking about? Nobody wants you to have anything. I don't know. Nobody stopped you from being a justice of the peace. No one stopped you from being a taxi driver. They should take his plate back. I don't think he needs a. Come on now, literally. These things should not be things that you have until you die and then you give it off to your children, right? Because you're really just hoarding it at that point. But anyway, that's a personal thing.
Yeah,
that's
sounds kind of personal.
No, I mean, towards all taxi drivers and all bus drivers. I don't feel like you should be able to give the plate on to your children. I feel like...
Sure, let's move on.
But right, he's a taxi driver, he's a JP, he's a talk show host. You already have 3-4 jobs, bro, right? So what are you talking about? We don't want you to have anything. We're questioning your qualifications for this thing that we will be directly paying you for. Mm-hmm. We want to know if you are qualified for that. That's like saying somebody going to work for somebody and they're like, oh, how dare you ask me for my resume? You don't want me to have anything. I want to know if you could do the job.
This texter, Rodney is qualified for any position in our country. He speaks Creole and we cannot do any worse than what we have had or have. Read that. Okay. Let's get this call in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
I don't understand.
Are you still there, caller? Do we have you hang on too long? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259.
And that text is incorrect. You can always do worse. You can always do worse. There's no such thing as the bottom. You think the sky is the limit. Like there's nothing so far that you cannot dig through it and go a little bit further down.
Okay. This texter, Dwight and Stephen, I'm here in Grand Bahama. Very impressed with the approach the Davis and Cooper administration is taking towards Grand Bahama, even though the PLP won only 2 of the 5 seats here. I love when I see less talk and more action. Okay. Good stuff. All right, so let's see if we can get this in very quickly. The bus drivers in New Providence are not happy. They want to raise fares. Take a listen to this report from our Berthany McDermott.
Union is calling for swift action by Transport Minister JoBeth Colby Davis as operators face multiple issues. Topping that list, an increase in bus fares as fuel prices rise. Colby Davis previously said Cabinet will revisit the issue by summer, but Unified Bus Drivers Union General Secretary Corwell Colbrook said bus drivers can't wait that long.
The end result is that we need action. We cannot wait. Fuel prices on the rise. We keep hearing the petroleum dealership keeps saying that fuel is going to hit probably $10 this summer, but how long are we supposed to be taking this loss?
Colbrook said the last fare increase was in 2008, years before the implementation and subsequent increase in value-added tax and the escalating prices in fuel. Colbrook said the last meeting with the minister was in early April. However, he stressed the wait time is unacceptable. He provided these gas receipts, which revealed 3 bus drivers paid $57, $75, and $110 daily on diesel.
We cannot really wait. Things need to be done before it really get out of hand. Before owners, drivers, and everybody just say, well, it's time to park up, because this cannot wait. The price of fuel is too high.
Colbrook's comments were echoed by these bus drivers who say they are barely making ends meet and stress the need for a fare increase.
Where it was already operating on a deficit, as it is, then to have an extra charge on that deficit. Any businessman know as you increase any expense, then your take home becomes lower, and it's a challenge. I think minimum of $2 base fee, minimum.
Straight across the board.
Yes, straight across the board.
And we barely gonna make it. Look inside the bus. Look all this bus parking. And we gotta go all the way down and get on there. It is a little rough.
Now, an increase in bus fare isn't the only issue bus drivers need addressed. Colbrook says for years they've been advocating for proper bus stops to be erected around the island.
Throughout the island, people are blowing their horn because, the buses are stopping this way, the buses are stopping that way. But because the proper bus stops has never been laid down. The existing set that have been that are down now, they are faded out.
As for what's the next step if the issues aren't addressed, Colbrook said this.
The minister will decide the next step.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Okay. Let's quickly get your reaction. We better move on.
Okay, so I do not think that the fares need to go up. You want to fix this, you can fix this overnight. If you own a plate and you do not drive a bus, the government needs to put a cap on how much money you can get from that. If you're leasing it, they need to put a cap on how much you're leasing your plates for, right? The same thing if you own a bus.
So the bus drivers can take home more
money. Right, because the thing is, the bus drivers are the ones doing all the work. They're driving the bus, they're fueling the bus, they're the ones making sure the bus is working. But sometimes they don't own the bus because they didn't have the initial capital to purchase a bus. They also don't own the plate, so they pay in two and three people or whatever down the road, right? And then they got to make money for them. I don't think the bus drivers need to increase I don't think the fare needs to increase. I think that where the money is going, that is collected, needs to be looked at again.
Isn't that a little heavy-handed? You want government to step in there?
It should be that's my compromise. My actual thought is take all the plates back from all of these people, and the government hires bus drivers to work for the government. We need public transportation. That's a public service. If it's a public service, it should be in the public service. That's my personal opinion. But I've compromised and said, if you are a lousy bum who owns a plate but doesn't want to work because you inherited this from your great-grandfather who did something for somebody who all of them done dead now, you don't want to work. You should probably only get $50 a week from it. You shouldn't be getting $500 a week from somebody who has to work all day, all night, doesn't have a bathroom break, doesn't have insurance, has to put their children through school, and now they have to go in their union and beg the government, could you please increase the fares from, what is it, it's $1.25 now? Increase it to $2. They begging the government for that while you sitting in air condition. If we fix that problem, where there's all these leasing of plates and leasing of vehicles to persons who are actually doing the work, if we put a cap on how much those persons can make, bus drivers can move out west tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Hello, good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Yeah, could I just let me comment on something? Just let me say this. God gave us all a free will, right? Would you agree with that?
Sure.
Okay. So why do I need someone to tell me I need to take a vaccine to go to Florida? Just showing us the times we live in. Let me just say this too. The word of God tells us.
But they tell you a lot of things. They tell you, right? Sometimes you need a passport, you need a visa. They lots of things you're told. Not necessarily Florida, but I mean
everywhere.
Things are
You're
right.
not allowed to bring fruits and vegetables from foreign lands into different lands. People are allowed. If you are a sovereign nation, you're allowed to put whatever rules in place you want to put in place.
Yeah.
And the free will that God gives you is you could choose whether or not you want to do it and stay wherever you is.
Yeah, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. Okay, just let me say this also. He tell us, he say, that he come after me, take up his cross and follow me. For he that save his life in this world shall lose it. And he that lose his life for my sake shall gain it. For what shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? I mean, the whole world. I mean, and you want to just saying. I mean, it's just a free will to do as you
No,
please.
I don't. I think you're conflating. I don't see the connection between that scripture and anything that you're talking about.
Yeah,
I feel like
you don't see it. Because you don't see it, what does that does that make it right?
It doesn't make what right? I don't know what you're talking about. You're just saying scriptures randomly.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, okay, let me ask you a question. You see Ukraine and Russia, right? In the scripture, it tells us that those places Magog.
Is this Rodney Monker?
Okay.
Magog. Well, just if you read Ezekiel, let us know the times we are in right now, because Magog, the land of Russia, is right on top of Israel. The word of God tells us. When you see Israel
You're steering us very far from what we are talking about. But
I also invite you to get a map.
Okay, let's read these really quickly, and then we got to take this break here. This texter says, maybe the solution, back to the bus drivers, maybe the solution to the bus drivers is a public-private partnership for a public transit system for the island of New Providence. The government and the bus drivers have been trying this for decades.
The thing is, you gotta dismantle the whole entire thing, because there are people who are making a lot of money by sitting home on their backside and collecting money from hardworking individuals. The workers are out there. I sympathize with the bus drivers. Without the bus drivers, this country will come to a complete standstill, because many people have to catch the bus. More people would catch the bus if it was more reliable. It would be more reliable if it was under a different system. But we cannot continue to be like, oh, we don't want to offend this private rich person for the sake of the thousands of working class Bahamians that need this thing to work.
Yeah. This texter says the bus drivers and cab drivers pass the plates on because they have worked for years to build their companies. Why not be able to pass the business on? It's just as any other business. Now, as far as owning a plate that's not in use, those plates should expire indefinitely.
I hear what this person is saying, and once again, I have very strong feelings about all this stuff, but certain things cannot be inherited, right? And I understand, oh, well, this is a business or whatever. If it's a business, by all means, you could, I'm sure there's something else that you can do. And if your children are driving the bus, by all means, right? They can continue to do that, because then they are the workers. I'm talking about your child and your grandchild don't even know how to drive standard shift. They barely could drive automatic. And you still collecting money from 5 and 6 jitneys and from livery plates and from taxi. I don't even know the difference between livery and taxi, to be honest with you. But you collecting all this money from all these different places because your great-grandfather was a general for somebody in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s. And now your grandchildren out here being lazy and causing hardworking Bahamians to scratch their head to figure out, well, what I could do. Am I going to buy lunch for my child or fill up the bus with gas so that they could have electricity when they get home to do homework?
Wow. All right. A couple more messages and we got to go. This person says, I agree with your guest. The buses should be public service owned and not privately owned. The diesel buses need to be outlawed because of the pollution and health risks.
And the thing is, and to bring in, and once again, let's keep all the private people out of this. The government needs to go directly to the people who make electric vehicles, skip the middleman, go directly to the people who make the electric vehicles and say, we need some electric buses for the Bahamas. Wow. Right? I agree with that person. We don't need any more diesel vehicles. We don't need any of these vehicles, especially if you're talking about if it's a public service situation, the government shouldn't be having to buy gas from a private citizen to keep the country running when we have all this good sunlight outside.
Let me get through these really quickly. This person says, Stephen, Stephen's position on no increase for the bus fares is extremely potent. Something has to be done. Diesel is higher than gasoline. Another one, I agree with Stephen. The government needs to take over the system. It's out of control. But they do seem, this is me now, they do seem to be afraid of offending someone, right? They are not doing it.
Because it's so many, the money going in so many pockets right now, and these are well-connected people. Dwight, you have a plate? Do you own a plate?
Of food, or what are you talking about?
Do you own a plate for a bus?
I don't. No.
It's so rare, and there are people out there who have plates who are just like honest citizens or whatever. But most of the people who have plates are connected. They're well connected, and you don't want to offend them.
Yeah. This one here, you pay a license fee to operate in your chosen career in many professions, example, accountants. How is that different from bus drivers paying to use someone else's business license? If you can't qualify for a plate or license, then why not pay someone who has?
Nope, because you can't do that. I can't pay somebody to use their lawyer license or their doctor's license. What type of ridiculousness is this? If you was the doctor, you was the doctor. That don't make no sense. That person clearly owns a plate, and that's probably all the work they do for the day. They probably didn't do a bit of work this whole week.
Oh, my goodness, Stephen. Okay, we're going to break for news. When we come back, we are talking about health. That person mentioned health, pollution, and cancer, a major problem for the country. Early detection. We're going to be talking with our guests who are pushing for early detection for cancer screenings. That's after the break. Stay with us.
If you don't have it, you can
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. And now at 8:24, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got streaming tropical moisture combined with multi-level troughing that's going to produce unsettled weather across the islands through tonight. And a tight pressure gradient is generating fresh to moderate breezes across the central and southeastern islands. We've got a number of warnings in effect for boaters to be alert for waterspouts and beachgoers to exercise caution due to rip currents and rough surf. And residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas should take precautions during heavy and prolonged rainfall events because of the risk of flooding in rainfall events today. So for the Northwest Bahamas, look for variably cloudy to occasionally overcast conditions with widely or isolated showers and a few thunderstorms through tonight. Showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to occasionally overcast and breezy with widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Again, showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Temperature-wise, today we're looking at highs getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 66 Fahrenheit, 19 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a very wet weekend is expected as that streaming moisture combined with troughing will remain across the islands, producing showers and thunderstorms over the next 2 days. So for your weekend, for Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at partly cloudy to overcast and breezy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. That is your Morning Blend weather check brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. Another look at traffic for this morning brought to you by RBC. For all of life's moments, there's one Visa Classic credit card. Just a reminder of the work going on at Prospect Ridge, the milling and paving work that continues there. Should be winding down, actually, but Prospect Ridge and Prospect Road. If you can't avoid the area, you're being advised to. Otherwise, follow the posted signs. In your real-time traffic at this hour, Mile Butler Highway not looking as bad as it was when we in our previous hour, but the traffic is backed up along Tonic Williams Darling Highway, so that leads us to believe there's a traffic cop directing traffic there. So if you're on Tonic Williams Darling Highway, be patient there. Otherwise, Glaston Road's looking manageable, but still heavy traffic in the northbound lanes heading to JFK Drive. Blue Hill Road seeing some heavy traffic as you get over that hill just north of Soldier Road on the way to Independence Drive, which is backed in both directions, west and eastbound. And Blue Hill near Carmichael and near St. Vincent seeing some heavy traffic northbound as well. Elsewhere, we've got not looking so bad on Eastern Road, manageable, not like what we normally see at this hour. And Prince Charles even looking pretty good for you at this hour. Those are the hot spots, along with Carmichael Road building westbound to Coral Harbor Road. That's your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and pin security with your RBC Visa Classic credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses and apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Hands, put your empty hands in mine. And scars, show me all the scars you hide. And hey, if your wings are broken, please take mine so yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Oh, tears make a lot of scopes in your eyes. It hurt, I know you're hurting, but so am I. And love, if your wings are broken, borrow mine so yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we break it down, we can find a way to break through. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you.
Guess not. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. It's odd.
It's
Dwight
amazing
Strachan.
what people find.
Why can't you say it? I don't understand. We're wondering why in the song that can I say it? Hell is bleeped out. The song can't.
Would you be surprised what you could get?
Oh, my goodness gracious, that's insane. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna on Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're changing gears now. We're talking about cancer in the Bahamas. You know, this is a major, major problem, and the importance of early detection and screening. Our guests are going to talk to us about that. Very pleased to have with us Judy Miller, Duquesa Dean, and Erica Morris. Ladies, great to have you with us. Great to have you back with us. Good morning.
Good
morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
I can't believe it's been a year already since the last All Cancer Month.
Oh, my goodness. Time is flying. Time is
Yes,
flying.
it is.
Wow.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about it. The early detection, we know that this is critical, crucial. Are people taking this seriously, getting the message they need to do the annual screenings or whenever the screenings are required, or do we have a lot of work to do?
This is Duquesa, and I think that we've made great strides in getting people to do the cancer screening, but we do have a long way to go as it relates to screening and people using the opportunities available for early detection. I know last year we did a survey, and as a result of that survey, what we recognize is that a lot of women aren't doing the mammograms because they don't want to know. They don't want to face the fact that they have, a problem or something that needs to be checked out. And it's not as if not paying attention to it makes it go away. The earlier that you take the screening opportunity, the earlier then either you have something to worry about, you catch it early, and you can have successful treatments done to kind of win this war, because that's exactly what it is. And some people are really afraid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did the pandemic have any influence on this?
I would say yes,
Mhm.
simply because, a lot of doctors' offices went to virtual. Screenings were then now by appointment. It wasn't just as easy as walking in. We were all really under these restrictions as it relates to our free movement. And so I think the pandemic did have a part to play, or a role to play in people utilizing the opportunities, particularly those with insurance that have that free, and I put in quotation, free training, screening opportunities every year. Annually, most insurance companies provide you with the opportunity to get that mammogram, that pap smear, to get your blood work done. And so I think even people being afraid to go out and mingle with other people or being in doctors' offices may have had an impact on them going out and getting screened.
I was gonna ask what the cost of it is, because I think that for some persons, anything with a cost is an excuse. It's a a reason to delay it or put it on the side.
Yeah.
What
if you don't have insurance.
Well,
right?
if you
Yeah.
don't have insurance, or if you have like what's it called, a deductible, or like where you have to pay part of it or whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know because being
Well,
being
Stephen,
of a poor person.
Stephen, yes, I agree with you to some extent. I do also know that there have been many organizations like Doctors Hospital, like St. Luke's Medical, and I just want to throw their names out there because they have been doing promotions like $50 mammograms. You really can't beat having a mammogram at $50 or having it so vastly reduced. And then there are organizations like ours who provide some of these opportunities free, like screening opportunities free. It's just people availing themselves of the opportunities. As a matter of fact, right now, the Cancer Society has restarted their screening opportunities in Eleuthera at the Harbor Island Clinic. They are also at the, I think, Spanish Wells Clinic and the Lower Bowl Clinic. They have the opportunities now for people in Eleuthera to get screened. That's this coming Saturday. So the opportunities for free training are available. The Cancer Society also used to offer it free years before the pandemic as well. So there is the opportunity to utilize the free screening available as well.
And these are the screenings usually take place at specific places, or like is it or
Well,
how?
if it's
Go ahead.
Yeah, if it's through the Cancer Society, then yes, they work with the government clinics. If you're using your insurance, if you have insurance, then you can go wherever you'd like. There are so many diagnostic places available today to get, and the pap smears are done at your local private doctor's office if you're using insurance as well. And if you're on NHI also provides the opportunity for you to get some of these screenings done as well. So you sign up for NHI, you have primary care, you're able to go to the doctor, get your write-up to go get your blood work done. Some of it includes your pap smear. So there are so many opportunities available for people who do not have like funds in their hands today to still avail themselves of the opportunity to get these screenings done.
Do you think that as the number risen in since you guys have begun in terms of people with interest in getting screened, or has it like remained constant?
I think the focus really shifted to COVID when we were faced with the pandemic. The focus, most things shifted focus to COVID. Awareness is coming back in. I know that there are so many organizations like, the Cancer Society, like our support group, the GD Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group, Sister. There's even a support group for young people, the Blue Rose Foundation. All of these support groups have been actively advocating, bringing awareness, sharing education, just hoping to get people out for screening. And of course, there's only so much these organizations can do. People now need to take personal responsibilities when they see symptoms or they have characteristics that are abnormal for their body, to not just say, I'm going to drink some Cerecy, or I'm going to bury my head in the sand and hope it goes away. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just a chance, but to avail themselves of all of the support that is available to them.
What demographic is the most difficult for you to reach to, like in terms of like age?
That's really a hard question to answer. And I would say that simply because we've been seeing a more increase in cancer diagnosis in younger people as well.
Right.
I would say between that 30 and 50 age range, which again is a broad range. We are busy with our careers. We are busy with our families. We have so much going on in our lives that, and women particularly, we put ourselves on the back burner, but also men, because there are screening opportunities for men, like these opportunities this coming Saturday in Eleuthera includes testing for men. So men are, one of the hardest areas of or genders to get out to say, hey, go get your colonoscopy, go get your PSA testing. It's like, getting men to do the testing. We would love to see more of them make themselves available for those opportunities.
Tell them refreshments will be served.
I want to get Judy and Erica in on the conversation. I know, Erica, recently you shared your story with us here on Morning Blend. And as DeQuesta says, you got to get people to be paying attention to changes that they're seeing with their bodies or their children or their elderly parents. But let's talk about that and what people need to be paying attention to.
Good morning, everybody. This is Erica, your sexiest and fattest cancer patient you ever want to meet, okay? It's me, yes. And like I said before, I tell people it was less than 1 year from the time I had my last mammogram till I was diagnosed. Okay, so that's why it's very important to get your mammograms once every year. Okay, because like I said, it was less than 1 year,
Wow.
and and like you said, paying attention to your body and the changes in your body. And now that I sit back and I think about it, that the breast that was infected, it had become much larger than the other one. Sometimes I would feel a little pain in it. And I was always told, oh, cancer does not hurt. Okay. So, I brushed it off. I'm like, oh, I'm exercising. Maybe I pulled a muscle or something like that. And one day, this is what, made me like really think about going to get a mammogram. My son was laying on my lap and he grazed my nipple. And when he did that, I mean, the pain, it was so excruciating. I had to look in my shirt to see if my nipple was still there. That's how much pain it was. And I have a friend who's an oncology nurse, Nikia Williams. And I called her and I was like, hey, I'm having this pain in this one breast. And of course, we would dismiss it as, oh, that's during the time of the month. My breast is sore, but it was just the one breast. So she came by, and at the time I had triple Ds, so I couldn't see what she saw or whatever. And I could remember her lifting the breast, and she says, oh my God, Erica, your breasts are inflamed. Your breast is inflamed. And it was fire red. She, showed it to me. And she says, go get it checked out. I went, I got a mammogram, and then another mammogram. And then I saw the look on the technician's face. They said, you need a ultrasound. And when I saw the look on the ultrasound's technician's face, I knew something was wrong. She then recommended I got a biopsy, and when I got the biopsy, I got the results, and the doctors, no slapping up. He had none. All I heard was unfortunately.
Oh boy.
And yeah, and I just remember falling out of my chair because no one wants to hear that, And he told me it was 2 centimeters at the time, and he told me, here what your options are, and he gave me my options. I opted to have both of them removed because not only I want to live for myself and really make an impact in this world, but I had to live for my 10-year-old child. I came to Miami for a second opinion, and by the time I got to Miami, which was a month later, it had grown from 2 centimeters to 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
In a month.
In a month. And and you could just, rub across the breast and you could actually feel the lump. And, I had to go through a myriad of tests again. And I'm still, a year later, I'm still not finished with the process. I'm done with chemo. Getting ready. I have to do 25 rounds of radiation. So I'm waiting on that. I've had the double mastectomy, not to worry. I have new perky boobs and they look nice. Okay? They look real nice. So, I always wanted a breast reduction, not this way, but hey, You know, so, and that's what it is. And when going through this, before I actually came to the U.S. to have my surgery, I had a let's say goodbye to Erica's breast party. But I wanted to be a party with a purpose where I was making some of my friends and family members aware of what it was that I was going through. I passed out pamphlets to show them the different signs of, you know, it's called Test Your Lemons, the different signs of what, you know, breast cancer can appear on the outside of your breast. And I had someone to come in and talk about it. And, you know, to my knowledge, most of the people in the room had never had a mammogram.
Oh, wow.
And were afraid to get mammograms. And, oh, I did it 3 years ago. Girl, I don't want to put my breast in that thing that looked like it hurt. I don't want to know. That everything that DeQuesta said, that's what I heard at the party. And Dr. Darville from the Fourth Terrace Diagnostic, she gave me coupons to give to those people at my party. And, you know, I mean, when I came, and I often say this, when I came to the cancer center in Miami, the third question on the questionnaire was, are you of Bahamian descent?
Oh, my goodness.
And I asked them, I said, why are you asking this question? And she says, are you a Bahamian? I said, yes. And she just got up. She says, one moment. She got up, brought in a doctor and a researcher, and they asked me, oh my God, are you Bahamian? I said, yes, ma'am. You know, my mother's Bahamian. She said, would you be willing to be a part of our research? I was like, sure. And we are number 2 for breast cancer in the world, this little nation, you know, and, you know, some people got upset with me when I said that. I said, by the mere extension that you are of Bahamian descent, you are at much higher risk. You know, wouldn't you want to be here, you know, to see your children, your grandchildren, all of that, you know? So it is a process. At times it was a lonely road, depressing. You know, I realized that cancer is more mental than it is physical, because I can remember just begging God, I said, just take this bitter cup. And I could just think, like, what did I do? Did I hurt somebody? Because no one, this just doesn't happen because it happens. I just thought I must have done something in my life to be going through this. Chemo is no joke. The chemo doesn't understand that we need to kill this cell. They don't understand that. They kill them all. Okay? And the changes, the joint pains that I have, and the last time I took chemo was on the 20th, of December. And I am still having the effects, the neuropathy, not being able to button your clothes, zip up your pants, open bottle caps. I am still dealing with I guess you can say, the vestiges of chemo, and I haven't gone through radiation. And I have to do that 25 rounds every day for 5 weeks.
My goodness.
So you have to go and get early detection, and that's something that they can possibly catch early. And you don't have to, maybe go through everything that I've done. And I think I did mine early. It was less than a year from the last time I had a mammogram till that time. So for the mere extension that we are Bahamians, that, like I said, that was the third question on the questionnaire. Are you of Bahamian descent?
My goodness, that is unbelievable. Wow, Judy.
Can I just celebrate Erica before you move on to
Yes.
Because in our society, particularly, we are so secretive about our diagnosis. We don't want people to know that we have cancer. And just her ability to come out and to share, so women understand what it's like, and they understand it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, you didn't choose it. It wasn't your mistake. It was like something that happened with you as a result of you being a Bahamian, more than likely, right? So it's not something that you need to be ashamed of and hide away from. And the second thing I want to highlight, we pay so much attention to the physical part of the disease, getting the port, getting the treatment, getting the surgery. The more difficult part of the journey for every cancer warrior in our support group has been the mental and emotional toll. The physical scars heal, but that emotional support and that mental support is what the survivor or the warrior or the patient needs once that surgery is done. Because trust me, those mental games, they will wipe you out.
My goodness. The question, we'll get to the blood drive in a moment, but Judy, anything you want people listening to know that you think is important right now?
Well, good morning, and thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here this morning with my president, DeQuesta, Dean, and Erica. Yes, early detection is the first thing out of my mouth, and that is what saved my life. I'm a 15-year breast cancer warrior, and I'm raising my hands as I say that, and that was because in 2007, as Erica said, I always had annual mammograms, annual physicals, and in 2006, I had a mammogram in December. In March, just by chance, I didn't have the issue like Erica with pain. Everybody's situation is different, and so sometimes we have to remember that. She had pain, I didn't. It was just by chance that I discovered while lying in bed that my hands were under my tummy and removing my hands to get up. It brushed across my right breast. And I felt something. I say, hey, what's going on here? And I am very aware of my body. I have always been. I'm an avid exerciser. I try to eat properly. And I try to take notice of everything that's happening in my body. That's why I always was committed to doing annuals. So I knew that a red flag went up in my head. I say, you know what? Something's not right. I allowed my husband to feel the area, and he said the same thing. He said, this wasn't here before. And so the next thing, Stephen, that we have to do is we have to find somebody to talk to. And I know, as Johnny said, sometimes as women, you're private. You don't want anybody to know that, hey, I'm sick, or I have cancer, or I have whatever, diabetes. But we have to get out of that melodrama and realize that when you speak up, you have to be intentional about your health. That's a word that I recently learned, so I like using it. Everything in our lives has to be intentional. You have to make a decision. Listen, I see something, I feel something, I have to do something about it. And if you can't make that decision, call a friend. It has to be someone that you can confide in, that you feel comfortable with sharing your private affairs. Speak with them about it, and that's what I did. I called a nurse friend, the same thing what Erica did, and I spoke to her. I said, listen, something's going on in my breast, and I want you to check it out. So I went to her office. She examined it. She said, Judy, yes, definitely, this feels unusual. You need to check it out. Make an appointment, and she, at the time, she recommended Loxley Monroe. I did that immediately and went to see him. He tried to aspirate it in his office. Usually they say if you can get fluid out of a lump or a mask, it's not cancerous. I don't know if that's true or not, but when he tried to do it with mine, no fluid came out. And so he said, okay, that didn't work, Judy, so now we have to do a biopsy. Had the biopsy done, came back, he called me in his office. He said, Judy, you have breast cancer. And honestly, I suppose in my mind, because of the age that I was at, Stephen, I was in my 40s. So my maturity level was a little bit higher than most. I'm a firm believer, I'm a staunch believer in the word of God and the power of him in your life. And so my psyche was a little bit, and I mean, that doesn't mean that if you're a believer, you don't have issues. I take that out of your mind, people. I'm not saying that, but it gives you a little bit more safety to be confident and saying, you know what, God got me in this, no matter what happens. And so when I went into the office, I asked God to go with me, and he did. And when Dr. Monroe said that, the first thing I said, What are my options? Now, some people may think that I'm inhumane for say having that reaction, but I am a proactive person. I have always been all my life. I like to know results. I don't want to sit down and say, what am I going to do? No, tell me what my options are so I could get this thing done and move on with my life. Because I have a gorgeous, at the time I still do, had a gorgeous husband, had a wonderful life, and I wanted to live.
Right.
I declared that I wanted to live, and that is exactly what I did. I had surgery. I had I had my right breast removed. I did 6 rounds of chemotherapy. It was awful. It was awful, and I understand why people hesitate in having it done, but it's something that you need to get done. Just think of it as one step in the progress of going over the bridge. You take the first step, you go to the top of the hill, then you go down the hill. It's a process, and you have to make up in your mind, intentional, be intentional. I want to live. I need to live, not only for my children and my husband, but for me. That's the first thing that we as women have to say. It's not always about somebody else, it's about me. And that's what I did. I had surgery, and 15 years later, still sexy, still gorgeous. And,
That is wonderful.
I'm enjoying my best life. I'm a part of the support group that Donnie heads, Jenny Dean, Caring and Sharing. We have a phenomenal group of warriors who stand together, who share their stories and encourage women. The worst part of after surgery for me was, am I going to be the same? Am I enough? Am I going to be okay? Are people going to notice that I only have one breast? And, those kinds of things go through your mind as a woman. But listen, I quashed that in a matter of days. Because guess what? I said, I could stuff it to get a prosthesis and no one wouldn't even know a thing. And that's what it is. You have to make a decision in your mind, no matter what it takes, I am going to live. And also share your story with somebody else. Donnie said, women are so private about it, and I respect that. But the way I looked at it was, if God allowed me, spared my life, and allowed me to see through this and get at the end of this tunnel, I think it's my responsibility to help somebody else up over the mountain. And I take that commitment very, very seriously. You don't have to broadcast your business. Sometimes people call me on the phone and we talk, and I give them my suggestions, and that's what it should be. You've got to help somebody else. And I am a big fan of support groups. I love it. I totally enjoy it. And hey, I'm almost 70, and I got at least another 40 years to go.
At least. DeQuest, I know you have an amazing story as well. We're running out of time, though.
Okay.
Can you tell us about the GD Caring and Sharing blood drive that you have coming up?
Absolutely. And so one of the things that we want to do this month, we're doing a number of things, but one of the things that we want to really do is help the blood bank get blood. So we want to make an appeal to men specifically. We want any gender to come out. But the male blood can be used for platelets. It's a bit soft. They can be, divvied up in all sorts of different ways to aid so many people. You can support more than one person. I think it's 3 to 5 people with the male blood. And so we want to appeal to you to come out at the Marlet Marathon. Our blood drive is Saturday, May 21st, Marlet Marathon. We are going to be there from 10 to 4. We invite every person to come down. Let us be proactive. Like, it just pains me to see people with the call for blood every time their relatives are ill. But if we can get like a steady supply of blood going into the Princess Margaret Blood Bank, we could be of greater support. And I know a lot of our survivors, a lot of our patients take care through PMH. They don't have insurance, and so they are going to the public hospital and through public treatment. We want to thank all of the doctors for their support, and we want to help the hospital to help cancer patients. So again, that's Saturday, May 21st at the Marlet Marathon.
Okay.
Dwight, I just want to very quickly share that we have 10 available opportunities for women who would like to have pap smears. If you're interested in having a pap smear on Saturday, May 28th, we have 10 free spots available. Please text me or WhatsApp me at 242-424-6012. That's 424-6012. We want to give 10 women the opportunity to get their pap screens done.
Wonderful stuff. And we're getting this message. I know that they were trying to call in, but we didn't get a chance to get to them. But the founder of Mammogram Access program in Freeport. They sponsor women to be screened privately, and I sent that message on to you, Duquesa. They want to reach out to you there, and hopefully we'll get to talk to them at some point. But it is Cancer Awareness Month here in the Bahamas, and thank you, Duquesa Dean and Judy Miller and Erica Morris, for sharing your stories with us. Erica, Judy, Duquesa, all three of you, we're so happy and proud of you all for your courage. But thank you for talking with us this morning, and hopefully people are listening and understanding how important this is to pay attention and get screened.
Thank you, Dwight.
All
Thank
right.
you, Stephen.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. We're going to be
back.
Okay. All right, we'll be back. Stay with us.
Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through with you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
We are back here with Morning Blend. We're going to get started with Morning Blend business in just a bit. But the Yellow Elder Community Association. Yellow Elder Community Association has a special Post-Mother's Day luncheon coming this weekend, Sunday. Yeah. So here to tell us all about it, we are very pleased to welcome to the show Vivolia Johnson and Dundas Munnings. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
Good morning, Bahamas. Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester.
All right, so tell us a little bit about the Community Association before we get into what's going to be happening on Sunday.
Okay, our community association, Dwight, as you know, we've been here before, and we're here again, letting you know that we're about to do some things in Yellow Elder. We've been around now from 2009, and we are here to just let you know what's happening for Sunday coming. Sunday coming, we are having our post-Mother's Day luncheon. And we're going to be lunching about, say, 75 plus persons from the community. But we want to highlight 4 particular persons, these special persons who have made some contribution within the community. We're going to highlight our eldest persons our eldest mother in the community. And this lady is 107 years old.
My goodness.
We're going to celebrate. Yes, we're going to celebrate her.
That happens to be my grand aunt, so I hope I
Really?
kind of age.
Say her name. Say her name. Say her name on
name
there.
is Miss Mildred Robinson.
Okay.
Yeah,
She's an Exuma woman.
Yeah, that's excellent.
And along with her, we're going to look at the proprietor of the Good Samaritan. Okay, that's Miss Capron. And we're going to also highlight Miss Daisy Umbrister. She is one labor movement. She's
everything.
done everything for the labor movement.
She's employed a lot of people through the years.
So we're going to highlight her in the community also. And we're going to also look at the first resident who lived within the community. Yeah, this lady was the first person to hold key into Yellow Elder.
Really?
Because, you know, we are a historical community. We're one of the first community built here in this Bahamas.
Yeah. Well, what's her name?
Oh, her name, I know her last name. Her last name is Miss Roberts. So I can't remember the first name.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're going to look
So why did you feel this was important to do this?
I think it's important to let persons throughout the Bahamas know that there's still some positive things happening in this Bahamas, especially in our community. You know, we try to do some stuff all through COVID. We were doing a lot of stuff, and we're still at it.
Yeah.
You know.
That's great. All right, so how can people be a part of this? This is, you have to have a special invitation, I'm told.
Yeah, this is a private event where we only could have a limited amount of person, and our selection was 75 persons. We would like to involve the whole community, but our funds are very limited.
Right.
You know, we send out letter asking persons to be involved. So at this time, maybe in time to come, we'll consider bringing everybody together. For right now,
Still a good amount of
we're
people.
we're gonna host. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So, when is it going to happen? Where? When? And I don't know if you wanted to tell people that. Since
No, I mean
know
we have a WhatsApp group. Okay, so this is gonna happen. So most persons are aware of it.
They know already.
So if they come, if they come, we trying to have as much food and drink so that they could still be involved in what it is to be doing, because we're having a lot of event, a lot of entertainers, and we're gonna have. We also have the Grove Police Station as our community police station. They can also be a part of it because they're doing like a skit play.
Excellent.
So we sort of draw them in, involved. They've been a lot of help for us in the community. So if persons who are a part of the community, and if they come by, we have, we're gonna have sufficient food and drink so that we could more or less have a little more persons involved. It's gonna be on one of our biggest park, Tom's the Grants Park. Okay? That's in our community.
That's good.
And
How
that's
does your
going to be it.
association raise money for events like this?
What we do is we have administrative team, and we pay dues.
Okay.
Every month we pay a certain amount of money, and we also go there and solicit funds. And I would also, if I could, take this time out to thank some person. I'd like to thank Bahamas Waste. They're the persons who collect the garbage in the community. They always been there for us. And I would also like to thank Super Value. They have also given us a donation. I'm forgetting somebody. Who else am I forgetting from this? Okay. And I'd also like to thank management of the medical team in Maximum Prison. That's Dr. Johnson. And also not forgetting Coca-Cola. He's the person who has always been there for us. So I will also like to thank my executive team for the extra that they put into
Excellent. This is good stuff.
Because probably sometimes, you have to go into your pocket sometimes, because if the funds are limited, it takes, it's going to take that extra funds to take you over the hump. It's very important for us as a people, or even as a village. I like to conclude the people as a village. It's very important us as a village to understand it's going to take every one of us to do our part and to ensure the livelihood of our people and to ensure a better Bahamas. That's very important. So when we started the association in the South, the LOL Association was broke up in a few components. The components was the Crime Watch. We had the outreach program, like Ms. Navolia, I call it one of her little baby brainstorms. We had the Feed the Kids program, where she said to me, she said, Dundas, I want to do something impactful for the kids that are leaving, going to school, because there are a lot of times that children go into school and they don't have anything to eat. And we know that breakfast is one of the most important meals of the day. It's difficult for you to really concentrate when you're really hungry.
Absolutely.
So every morning we'll get to church and we'll start to cook a whole feast of food. And as the kids pass, I think it started out, 90 kids the first time we started? And it grew into 90 to 100 and something, and it continued just to grow. And I'm looking at her like, where are we going to get some more stuff? Because the stuff keep growing every morning. You're giving the kids the breakfast, which is a great initiative. But it takes some of the neighbors to say, you know what? I have 5 cans of corned beef I ain't using. I have some tuna. You guys can use. You know what I mean? So it helps the neighborhood, because helping them today is helping yourself for tomorrow.
Absolutely. True. Yeah, this is great stuff, and it's a model for other communities as well.
Definitely. It's one of the first ones to actually start the way that we did it. So other areas now are following suit since we've been initiated. A lot of other communities, I see they started their community watch, neighborhood crime watches, and et cetera, et cetera. But the Yellow Elder Association, back in the past, we've been stigmated with the bad things that only a certain type of people come from that particular area.
Right.
We want to change that stereotype and to let them know that there are great people that comes out of Yellow Elder. Yellow Elders produce a lot of great things. A lot of times in the media we only see the bad things happening, and we rarely get to speak on highlight the great things that happen in communities, and that should be everywhere. As a Bahamian, we have Bahamians that are doing extraordinary things in the world. The other day, I think I saw the president, they just elected a Bahamian girl.
Oh, he hired a Bahamian
Bahamian lady
part
to the White House.
committee.
That should be headline news.
Right. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
things of that nature. We
gotta
need to promote more, celebrate our people
Celebrate
more.
our people, absolutely. And we thank you all for doing that. And this is going to be a great time on Sunday, you can imagine. And Volia Johnson, keep the great work done this morning. It's nice to meet you. You're going to be back with us next week.
Definitely.
For another exciting topic.
It's going to be exciting.
Right here on Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business. So we're looking forward to that. But again, thank you. And we celebrate those women as well. And keep up the great work. Very inspiring.
It's been a pleasure to be on the show.
All right. We're going to take a break and be back with Morning Blend Business. We're talking about the future of construction, some interesting things going on. And we're going to get into that in just a bit. Stay with us.
We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
You're always on the go. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, First Caribbean, you can count on us. We make life easier. Manage your accounts at any time. Apply for a loan. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with choices that suit you. CIBC, First Caribbean.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic. Your destination for care, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
You know, you should teach a savings class, because you know everything. No, I just choose wisely. Like, I just got 2 months free home internet from BTC. All I did was sign up for internet. 2 months internet free? For real? I bundled my internet and mobile services, and now I'm paying half of what the other guys charge. Plus, as a new customer, I get 2 months internet free. What? Nah, that's a big deal.
Switch to BTC Internet and get the second and third months free for new customers. Conditions apply.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Doctors Hospital's Pharmacy introduces a new spin on prescriptions called Pick Up Now, Pay Later. That's right, you can collect your medications first and pay after. How does it work? Step 1, submit a prescription online. Step 2, select the pickup site. Step 3, collect your medication. And Step 4, pay online within 14 days. For more info, call us at 242-302-4785 or visit us at doctorshosp.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9, Morning Blend Business on this Friday, May 13th, 2022. Welcome to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Stephen had to run, but Chester Robards is here for this hour.
Yes.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us.
Good to be here.
This morning we are talking the future of construction, and that's going to include basalt, fiber, rebar. Here to guide us through this discussion, we're very pleased to have with us in studio Avery Lightburn with Art Heavy Equipment, and Marcus Lang with TDG Architects. And joining us via Zoom, we have Fred Tingberg Jr., who's the director of Basonite Industries. Everybody, welcome. Welcome back to the show. Great to have you with us.
It's always good to be in the house.
Yes, sir.
Fred, can you hear us?
I sure can. Can you hear me? Welcome,
Yes.
Bahamas.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. So, where do we begin? I guess with what?
I'll
Avery,
start
with basalt.
Yeah,
what
you
that
don't have
is.
to do too much. We can roll this real quick. So my name is Avery Lightburn again, and I'd like to say, first of all, good morning to my lovely wife, Templar. She's listening in with my children, Rachel, Asha, and Tatiana. I'd like to say good morning to them. Good morning to friends and family who have tuned in to support. Thank you for your support. This morning, just to introduce myself, I've been entrepreneur for 15 plus years, and I've been studying trends of things that the Bahamas needs, the young country, and I figure I have to find the needs and try to supply those needs to as much people as I can. So that's been kind of my past 15 years, my legacy of trying to start new trends, ones that are existing. How can I make them better? And so I try to guide my interests along those lines. So with this, right now, we're talking about construction in the Bahamas a lot. And I have very good friends and advisors, some mentors, father figures, people like that around me in business who I take advice from. They're way smarter than me and have way more qualifications. And I always follow their lead when it comes to something. I pitch it to them. And if they say, that looks good, looks like this the angles you're going to go, this the obstacles you're going to reach, and I take those advice, I package it and say, do I want to go? And then I make my decision from there. So hence you got my boy Marcus here with me today.
All right.
Yes.
So we have on the table some rebar, and we know what happens with it.
Regular rebar.
Regular
Some
rebar.
steel rebar.
That gets all rusty, and we've got buildings all over this country.
And then something that looks like black licorice covered in salt or sugar.
But we know what happens when it gets rusty like that.
Right.
And we were talking about it off here. Even before you install it, I mean, it's starting to rust. And the impact this has and how costly that can be if you need to fix it. Let's outline the problem and where we are now with the solutions and how this will impact the future.
Well, I mean, we all know what we've been dealing with in the construction industry when it comes to rebar and steel in general. And we live in a heavy salt environment. I mean, where the humidity transmits salt blowing through the environment. Steel is stored outdoors for the most part before it's even installed. So that action begins before it is even put in place. But, we've been exposed to new technologies and alternate means of reinforcement, but we've never really had a focus on it here. And now with Avery's company Art, they're looking to spearhead championing this product in the country, and it's a no-brainer. Like in the industry, we've tried to use alternatives. A lot of times it might have been a bit more expensive, and a lot of people look at that front end cost versus the long term livelihood of their structure. And Fred will talk a bit more about that. But this is a no-brainer. We see the spalling. We have Bahamians that experience homes being fractured because the steel has continued to rust. You have to be treating the steel all the time. You talk about maintenance issues for companies and buildings and government buildings. And there's some buildings out there that we see and we know needs help, and it wouldn't have been an issue if a product like this had been used.
We can say it. We set it off here. We can say which one. One very good example.
When you show up, at the stadium, and you see everything cracking and falling down.
Oh my God!
You see the rust while you're driving.
You can see that.
Yeah,
poking out.
It's
terrible.
So definitely, we in the architecture, engineering, and construction industry, we are all for products like this. Sort of the construction can be more efficient. we can have more longer lives for our buildings. I think it's a wonderful product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so Fred, tell us about it. What exactly is basalt fiber rebar? How is it different? What can it do? What does it do better? Tell us everything about it and the development of it, where that came from, and how we got here.
First, I'd like to say thank you for having me. Okay, I'd like to shout out to my beautiful wife Yahira, my construction colleagues and Facebook friends that are joining today on the air. I want to introduce myself. I'm Fred Tingberg, okay? I'm a materials engineer with 30 years experience in bringing breaking technologies to the construction industry here throughout the United States, Canada, overseas. So you said you had some rebar at the studio there,
yes.
Is that correct?
Rusty rebar. Mm-hmm.
Well, if you hold up a piece, do you have a sample of our product in front of you?
Yes, we do.
So when you're looking at that product, you're looking at a sustainable, green, 100-year service life expectancy piece of BFRP, basalt fiber reinforced polymer. Now, basalt gets its history. It's really a recent development. You have to go back 2,000 years to the Romans. And if you have ever been to Rome and you've been and seen the Pantheon, you're looking at a building that has a roof, a dome, completely of basalt. The Romans were ingenious at experimenting with different composite materials. They found this, I didn't, but I'll tell you what makes it special today. Is combined with epoxy, it allows us to make a material, a concrete reinforcement material that is 2.5 times as strong as steel with 1/4 of the weight. And when you combine those two features, you introduce all types of benefits. Some of them are construction benefits, shipping benefits. The fact that it doesn't corrode, the fact that you could literally store it in your canal there, let alone, I mean, I recommend a warehouse, of course. but the fact that it can be stored in salt water. Yes, one of our first structural applications here in Florida was directly across from that Surfside collapse that got all kinds of international airtime last year.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're still investigating the specific causes of that, anybody that walks out onto their balcony in South Florida and looks down and sees corrosion in their patio, they think twice.
Yeah.
This material has got a 100-year service life expectancy. When I came out of RPI and got into construction products, construction industry products, 50-year service life expectancy was the goal, was the model. Wouldn't an extra 50 years be handy at Surfside today or any place for that matter?
Goodness, absolutely.
At the end of the day, this material behaves very much like concrete also. It compresses, it expands, it bends, it deflects, it behaves like concrete. So you have something that's very compatible. I think of an example of a concrete piling that the FDOT has been experimenting with, where if you reinforce the pile member with this basalt, this BFRP rebar instead of steel, when you bang on it and drive it down into the ground, instead of getting that blossoming, blooming end, because the steel and the concrete behave differently, the beam remains rectangular, and you drive it into the ground and it doesn't spall, it doesn't crack. Why? Because this is an aggregate reinforcement of aggregate. And it behaves very specially. As a materials engineer, I'm proud of this product, this development. It's seeing a lot of use in the United States, also because today we have supply chain crises, we have energy cost rising. Steel did a lot for our society, for us as a people. I mean, it was there, it stood. In time, it served in many different applications, but because of the rising costs, because of the availability issues that are being experienced, this product is coming in focus, but also for the green application, LEED credits we have here in this country. We have folks that are wanting a lower carbon footprint, and you're looking at it with that piece. But I must just finish by saying we have two other products that we bring to the market. This is the Besa Flex, the rebar. We also have a Besa mesh, which is a geogrid, or it's a material that can be used in roads and flat work. We also have Besa Mix, which is just plain basalt fibers, which are chopped and introduced into concrete. I'm sorry.
No. They're showing us some samples. Okay.
Mesh.
Yeah. My goodness. All right, so Fred, so many questions. So you mentioned the rising cost of steel, but what about the cost of basalt, and how does that compare to steel? What are we looking at?
So essentially, when you're holding up that piece of rebar there, you're looking at basalt fiber. which are basically made from volcanic rock that's melted down and drawn into fibers. So your raw material cost is extremely low. You're dealing with the rocks that are very common on the planet. I mean, Ireland is a big piece of basalt, for instance.
Wow.
Ours comes from Wisconsin, and it's smelted and made into fibers in South Carolina. We produce the bar in Pompano Beach, which is about a 2-hour boat ride from your island. And also, this is all part of our now supply chain. We are partnering with those two gentlemen you're sitting next to, real strong local people that will we're hoping will allow us to bring to market and stock as a distributor these materials, which also contribute to the cost, and the bar you're holding up in your hand should truly be less than the cost of a piece of steel. Although, remember, 4 times as much in a container as far as weight, transport, not needing heavy machinery to transport, to move this material around the job site. There's all kinds of economic efficiencies, construction efficiencies. Once folks try this once or twice, given the fact that it's stronger than and lighter than steel, and it can be substituted directly, they really do get attached to it and use it because of the economies and the efficiencies and the cost savings that ensue.
Yeah, when Avery was showing me his pro forma and started to look at the logistics of import, you start to look at the availability, and in the short-term future, looking at even manufacturing the product here, the cost will be less than steel. So you're going to get a premium product that's going to cost less, and it's going to be easy to handle, store, supply. So this is very, very revolutionary for the construction industry, because the majority of our reinforcement is the same steel.
Let's talk more about that. Like how much of a difference will it mean in building a house if you use this and other applications?
Well,
like
on a
that?
small scale, you think house, but we use rebar and steel reinforcement for almost anything to do with masonry or concrete construction. So you're talking about seawalls, you're talking about docks, you're talking about concrete slabs, you're talking about concrete walls, full concrete walls, you're talking about perimeter walls. There's so many things that use either rebar, mesh, or fiber. And this replaces all of them. We talked about the flexibility and usability and handability of this product versus your typical steel rebar. They have certain grades of rebar that are so heavy, it requires several guys to move it, or heavy equipment. The largest piece of rebar that can be produced in this product can probably be handled by 1 or probably 2 guys, just based on the fact that it's extremely long and you have to maneuver through areas. But the weight, the strength per square foot or per linear foot versus steel, it is insane.
Well, I look. Sorry, go ahead.
No, and I'd say, and then the Bahamas, we as a country, we are aiming to be as sustainable as we possibly can. So as a country and from a government standpoint, this starts to push us more in a direction so that we can continue to enhance our low carbon footprint. We start talking about green credits, and we start talking about carbon credits, et cetera. Making more of our buildings LEED or LEED similar certified. This is a big part of it.
Yeah, and I want Fred, when I finish, to elaborate on the carbon footprint and the amount of the footprint it actually affects in creating, as opposed to the steel. The steel is like somewhere around 8% of the carbon footprint, with like 1/10. So automatically speccing this in a building, you already start the mandate that our country is going towards. I think the Prime Minister was just at a orange economy seminar the other day and talking about, going green. Well, this could actually be classified as a green material. So Fred could elaborate a little bit more on that. But what is fascinating when you come to cost, because I know cost is everything when you bring in something to say, how much it costs? How do I make money off of this? Well, we're inviting all the stakeholders. Y'all come out. We have a seminar on the 25th of May. It's going to be at the Industrial Park at Fire Trail Road West, right? And it's going to be at the yard where Overtime Construction has all of it's their plant out there that they work from. He's a master roofer specialist. And we're going to do a
display out there, a prototype. So I have the sample material I have to go pick up now from one of the shipping companies, and I'm going to let over time put that little construction up. So you'll be able to come out on the 25th at 10 a.m. It starts, and that's the 25th of May this month. And so Mr. Fred Tinberg and his team, they're going to be down here to talk a little bit more so you could feel, see, and touch this product. I don't have the construction background, but I have a business background, and I know when something is good. I have a music background, so I can tell you when a music is going to be a hit. I can tell you when your song will be a hit. So I kind of have that knack, and I thank God for my parents, Jack and Stephanie Lightbourne, for giving me that gift. My brothers will take credit for it, but
and this is music to the ears of anybody in construction.
Absolutely. And so you have to look at the different advantages. For one, they were talking about concrete the other day, right? And that was a fun fact that 3 inches of concrete is suggested, and you could have the architect and engineer correct me on this, but 3 inches of concrete is suggested just to protect steel.
Right.
3 inches more concrete. Yeah. You know how expensive concrete is right now? Cement, and it's like $20-something a bag. I don't remember cement being out of the, I guess, teens, $14, maybe $15 a bag. $20-something a bag now for cement. And you have to add 3 more inches to cover this steel. And the engineer and architect had talked a little bit more about how you save even in that area. So right now, the cost comparisons that I've worked out with customs and everything landed, I'm about $1 or so over with the cost now of steel, but that depends on who you buy it from. So we've done our groundwork to check it out, but by the time as you save on your concrete, manpower, because now you don't have to have a bunch of people lifting the steel off the truck and have a bunch of laborers sitting down on your job. You're moving. You could put them somewhere else to do some more work. So your building process now is maximized because you don't have a product that is hard to work with and hard to manipulate. You talk about the flexing of a pool and all of that steel bursting and trying to manipulate curved structures. Now it's easy, and you tie it in with zip ties.
Wow! So you could save thousands.
Oh man, the savings are crazy and tremendous. You just got to see. The proof is in the pudding. So Fred has been using it, and he knows all of the different stuff that the benefits of it.
Fred, you want to elaborate on that and the cost?
A couple of things. Wow, Avery, I'm going to tell you something. You've studied this sheet music. You got it down. But I want to say that he mentioned a couple of points that bear maybe an extra pass. One is the cover business. So if you look at conventional concrete, the thickness of a slab or in a seawall application, or even a beam for that matter, a lot of the thickness that you're using, your handling, the weight, right? It comes from something called cover, which is how much additional concrete above and beyond which is structurally required goes into that member simply to protect the steel from seawater. So let's pretend for a moment you don't have to worry about protecting the rebar from seawater. Guess what? You don't need that extra cover, which is cost, which is weight, which is if you're doing architectural panels, it becomes more cumbersome to try to do something that's appealing. You know, you talked about green earlier, and there was a 27-story Marriott that was constructed in Maryland this year. It was completed this year, and they only were able to use because of it was a fast track construction. They only used 30% of the rebar that was needed to build this structure was all basalt, BFRP, the product that you're looking at on your table there. It caused the entire building, the entire project to qualify as a green structure with LEED credit because that's how much carbon footprint was reduced. This has 10% the carbon footprint of its comparable ferrous counterpart. And you guys talked about corrosion earlier. You guys know the model, you're seeing it in real time. So when the steel oxidizes, it expands. When it expands, it causes the concrete to spall, to crack. That further exposes the additional reinforcement material to further corrosion. The process continues. I was in the Keys last week. I went to Key West, and there's a company, Manley DeBoer, that's one of the largest 100-year-old company. They probably furnish 90% of all the reinforcement materials in the Florida Keys, and their typical client, their pet peeve, if you will, is they'll go spend all this money, put the seawall up, and after 3 or 4 short years, they're already seeing what they call bleed.
Right.
You know, where the rust, where the red, you know, the manifestation of corrosion is bleeding through this brand new seawall. They're not stuck in any more black materials. They're, as far as the rebar, the conventional rebar goes, they're going to. I mean, they're going to. Now there are other steel reinforcements. There's galvanized. There's epoxy coated. I mean, there's other ways. There's you can go. There's other ways to do this. But what you have on your table right there is the most efficient, the pound for pound, dollar for dollar, the best possible deal you could imagine for reinforcing conventional concrete in something that doesn't corrode, 100-year service life expectancy, fully structural, stronger, lighter. The gentleman that I'm partnering with there have told you better than I can the benefits, and I really appreciate your allowing me to come on today. I hope you're there. In 2 weeks, I'll be the big man sipping the cool kalik, holding the reinforcement stick. Please ask me any questions. I can't wait to meet you.
All right, Chester?
No, I was going to ask you used the word flexibility, and I guess it might have piqued some people like me. But in rebar, there's some bending and things that sometimes you have to do on site.
Yeah.
How does that work with this material?
Well, this material, for a lot of the applications where you have to do bending, it can be pre-done. There will be components that are part of this system where if you need to hit certain angles, 90s, 45s, they'll have components that allow you to tie it together. So if you need to do any kind of, you don't have to physically bend, because you know they could be out there with a machine, you have to do special equipment, or some dudes do it rudimentarily with a lever to bend certain angles. You can get components where you can actually hit those bends as a part of the system.
May I add something to that?
Sure.
So, excellent question, okay? Many times, architecturally, you even need a radius. And while steel can be bent, it has ductility, bending is possible, which is not necessarily a very safe process. You know, you gotta be very careful. 2 guys, a bending apparatus, it's dangerous business, but we have 2 ways to go. One was just mentioned, where we have fittings that can be introduced, 45s, 90s, if it's a T that's required. So we provide those, but also if a radius is required, so this material, we told you earlier about how it was processed at high temperature. We have an oven, the material can be annealed, elevated to its formation temperature at 1400 degrees Fahrenheit or somewhere thereabouts. And we can actually provide radius that if it was architecturally required, desired, we could ship it in that manner. There might be a little more lead time associated with it, and it's not something you're going to do on job, but it certainly is available.
Okay.
Wow. All right. So you said already, stronger and lighter than steel. So we were living in this hurricane zone. Any concerns at all? We've seen Dorian. How would something like this fare in a situation like that?
Well, I mean, this is an engineered product. So, you know, the structural engineer that designs your typical concrete structures would design with this material instead. So they would do all their calculations. It'll be reviewed and approved by the Ministry of Course. So it'll be the same.
Yeah.
It'll be the same.
All right. So are you able to retrofit some building, or do you have to knock down the whole thing? I mean, how would this work if you needed to get rid of your old rebar that's rusting through your walls?
That's kind of construction means and methods, but I don't know if anyone would go to the extent of ripping out steel to replace it. If they had to, I mean, they could. But I mean, as far as a cost and I don't know if it'll be worth it. But it could
May I add
happen if
something
someone.
to that?
Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
So essentially, certainly, well, here anyway, we've got thousands of these condos from Key West all the way to Jacksonville. And I mentioned the patios earlier, okay? Yeah. And there are companies actively engaged presently. And I think of my friends at Emerald City, and I think they're working in conjunction with ACOM and actually trying to put together a packaged retrofit that could be used, you know, as an outdoor patio where you're just going to basically, you know, do just that instead of, but as far as that, you know, there's dowel methods, there are, like you just said, there are means and methods for introducing this BFRP into the existing. It's engineered business, okay, and we do have an engineering program that would be available to our clients, our customers, and the public, as a matter of fact, online. It's called Basic Pro, where you can literally go online. Use a little process. You request a username and password. We provide you with an opportunity to go in and have a program which enables you to convert any steel design to the BFRP, the basalt fiber reinforced, the Basaflex design, so that this is an engineered product. And the early FDOT installations that we performed here, and by the way, the Department of Transportation in Florida has dedicated years of research to this particular product, and I could provide all kinds of background and design and support information. But at the end of the day, we're trying to make it available to the public so that you guys can compare the apple with the apple and know exactly what constitutes a structural design with Basaflex.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's just the additional credibility that we want to share with you guys, because art is backed by Bassanite, who has years of experience, millions invested, research data, technical data, support. So you're not just dealing with a local company, you're dealing with a company that spans a slew of professionals and trained individuals.
Right.
So what they offer, art offers. And it's going to be easy to get what you need done.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Dwight.
Yeah.
No, I'm just thankful that I have the people around me, because it's always the proof is in the pudding in the Bahamas. When you're marketing something or pushing out something, especially if the background, they look at your background, kind of size you up sometimes, and you have to have the proof. You know, you can't just come in and sit down and tell somebody a story and you can't back it up. In the Bahamas, you got to back it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, put your money where your mouth is.
Yep.
And right now, at this point, with the team that I've put together, like, getting this guy, this is a celebrity next to me. Like, this Marcus Lang, when you get a guy like this sitting down and endorsing something for you, it gives you a good feeling. And then when you get the international community coming and trusting your word to say, bring this to the Bahamas. You can trust me to help you with this in the Bahamas. That says it big. So what we're looking at, we have invited one or two persons from the ministry, and we're going on a campaign to try to send out as much invitations, because they're the ones who can make this possible.
Yeah.
They're the ones who has to scrutinize it. They have the experts up there who knows what they're doing. I can tell them about it, and they have to understand it, because these are the guys. We have one of the strongest building codes in this region, and we got to make sure that these guys who've been doing it for years see it and they're satisfied with it. And it could come from it could come from anywhere in the world, but this is like right next door to us. So they have the same kind of seas, salt air and stuff going through.
Yeah.
So if it's right next door to us and they're using it, and it works. Florida, they control basically the building code. About 35 states come on. When they are certified, they got about 35 states that follow the same building code.
Yeah.
So they're like the pioneers of that in the U.S. So we're looking at something major, and I think it's going to change our country if we venture into it.
Absolutely. We've got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more on this, and we'll get some of your text messages in there as well. And you can call in as well. We're talking with Avery Lightburn, Marcus Lang, and Fred Tingberg Jr. We're talking about basalt and having a great conversation on the future of construction. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Working in a coal mine, going down, down, down. Working in a coal mine, all about to flip down. Working in a coal mine, going down, down, down.
Mosquitoes becoming an issue? Strachan Commercial Pest Services is the #1 service provider for vanquishing those annoying bugs. Mosquitoes are more than a nuisance. They're also a health risk, transmitting diseases including malaria, dengue fever, and even the West Nile virus. With accredited verified training and technology, Strachan will deal with the conditions that invite mosquitoes, tackle current infestations, and stop their life cycle, therefore reducing the number of mosquitoes on your corporate property. Strachan, #1 in pest control services.
History has taught us that in crisis, humanity will always respond with innovation. What world-changing technologies will emerge from humanity's latest challenges? How can the Caribbean capitalize on the metaverse, blockchain, hybrid work, and more? Join us at the RF Economic Outlook Conference under the theme Future Forces, World-Changing Ideas, where we will explore the future of work, investments, technology, and more. The journey begins on June 8th. Reserve your seat today at www.rfeoc.com.
Play this record as frequently as possible.
Friday, May 20th, it's time to feel good.
It's Star 106 and Four Walls. Feel Good Friday.
Classic. The Star 106 Anniversary Edition.
Happening at the Four Walls Squash and Social Club Village Road.
It's the after work.
I got so early vibes.
Vintage.
Block party.
Exclusively for the grown and sexy.
With the best in throwback classics.
Happening at the new outdoor terrace bar at Four Walls.
Limited tickets on sale now at the Nassau Guardian and Four Walls for $20 in advance.
Come out early to enjoy the open room bar from 5 to 6 p.m.
This is a strictly cashless party.
So bring your old school dancing moves with your new school payment options.
Feel Good Fridays. Friday, May 20th.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
The city of Miami is waiting for you, and Island Pay wants to take you there. Yes, you heard that correctly. Island Pay is giving away 5 priceless trips to Miami for 2 people just for using your MasterCard prepaid card. Every $30 you spend gets you a chance to win. Whether it's on groceries, gas, diapers, clothes, gifts, online, and others, it's all counting and getting you closer to an unforgettable experience in Miami. Don't have an Island Pay MasterCard yet? No problem. Get yours today. And Island Pay will give you $15 back. Island Pay, a better way to pay, a better way to win. Promotion running March 21st to May 18, 2022. Conditions apply. Visit islandpay.com to learn more.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Bahamas Power and Light announcing the appointment of Siobhan Cambridge, the former Director of Utilities and Energy at ERCA, as the power company's new Chief Executive Officer. The announcement of Cambridge's appointment coming 3 weeks after former BPL CEO Whitney Hasty resigned, along with former Director of Human Resources Evis Missick. In a statement, BPL said Cambridge will immediately get to work, officially beginning his new role today. Cambridge is taking the helm of the power company ahead of the typically challenging summer months of the country and at a time where rising oil prices are expected to impact consumer bills. BPL Chairman Pedro Rowe saying that despite the looming challenges, the board is confident Cambridge is right for the job. 60% of the players in the cryptocurrency space see greater clarity around regulation as the key to the growth in crypto adoption. That's according to a SALT survey during the recent Crypto Bahamas conference. The survey found that 55% of those polled think regulatory uncertainty is most likely to hinder adoption. They also contend that other things likely to hinder crypto adoption include security breaches, volatility, and the general lack of belief in the utility of the blockchain. Read more on this in today's Guardian Business section. And Bahamian Contractors Association President Leonard Sand says while the industry is very excited by the recent construction jobs announced on Grand Bahama associated with the Grand Ukiah sale and the new Carnival Cruise Port, he will wait to see if the developers live up to their words to hire mostly Bahamian laborers.
Electra America Hospitality Group, which agreed to purchase the Grand Locale from the government for $100 million, has also agreed to create 1,000 jobs during the $300 million renovation and construction phase, while Carnival Cruise Line, which intends to immediately begin construction on its new $200 million cruise port in East Grand Bahama, has vowed to create hundreds more jobs. You can read more on these stories in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, Elon Musk saying today that his plan to buy Twitter is temporarily on hold as he tries to pinpoint the exact number of spam and fake accounts on the social media platform. Another twist amid signs of turmoil of the proposed $44 billion acquisition. Musk has been vocal about his desire to clean up Twitter's problem with spam bots that mimic real people and appeared to question whether the company was underreporting them. In a tweet, the Tesla billionaire linked to a Reuters story from earlier this month, May 2nd, about a quarterly report from Twitter that estimated false or spam accounts made up fewer than 5% of the company's monetizable daily active users in the first quarter. Musk saying that the Twitter deal will be temporarily on hold pending details supporting calculation that spam or fake accounts do indeed represent less than 5% of users, indicating that he's skeptical that the number of inauthentic accounts is that low. In your Market Watch recapping trading on the BISX from Thursday, the market movers: Commonwealth Bank moving 12,000 shares, down 7 cents to 268. Vanguard moving 2,000, up 10 cents to 1085. Finco moving 166, unchanged at $10. Consolidated Water unchanged at $2.11, and Emera Incorporated down 5 cents, closing at $11.80. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,350.94, down 8.71. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAO, growing wealth for future generations. We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong and Chester Robards, Morning Blend Business. We are talking about the future of construction and basalt fiber rebar, and I've got Avery Lightburn with Art Heavy Equipment, Marcus Lynn with TDG Architects, and Fred Tingberg Jr. with Basinite Industries. And we're having a great conversation this morning. We had some interesting things to say off the air about maintenance, and we know we have some challenges here. How much of a difference will this make when it comes to maintaining what's already existing?
Well, I could just tell my experience. I'll let Marcus do the expertise part of it. But I grew up in Eleuthera, and I used to deliver for a local liquor merchant, the whole island, right? The warehouses and that stuff.
You really have to have you host any radio shows?
Yes. Yeah? What? Yeah. I'll talk about that one later.
Okay, that's another show.
It's not in country though.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you're serious too?
No, I'm not very serious. I've done some stuff around, so I'm just a young bohemian looking for trends, like I said, and I try to touch things that I see a need and supply it, as long as it's legal. You know, I can't do jail. I'm not gonna survive. But I grew up in Eleuthera, and I saw that supply chain of the bridge damage and in no working condition so many times throughout the hurricanes and the surges that come from the Atlantic Ocean. And that's where the Atlantic meets the Caribbean Sea, and I've that little piece of rock in there, hence glass window. But it's a beautiful, beautiful place to see, but it's dangerous. And it's scary. Just driving over it throughout the years, every time I go over that bridge, I'd say, should I go fast? Should I go slow? Should I go fast? And I have a weight of liquor in the back. So I'm like, and Bryland Regatta, I got to deliver their drinks. So you can imagine that supply chain get cut off. So I saw that bridge deteriorate and repaired so many times. And I mentioned it to when I was at Basinite and talked to them about it. I'm like, y'all do this bridge, like, this could do a bridge, like, and you don't have to worry about that anymore. Y'all come to the Bahamas, come do this bridge and show them, you know, and do it for free.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
You know?
So, Fred, this could be used in an application like that, something like a bridge?
Yes, we can, but I would first ask that if we're going to do something for free, let's reinforce the wine cellar at the Great Cliff Hotel.
Wow.
I want to point out, we talked supply chain, I want to point out that you can contain 4 times as much of this material in those valuable containers that we ship back and forth because of the lightweight. And it's very important that's, we talked about dollars and cents. How about shipping 4 times as much in the same container?
That is amazing. That is amazing.
But as far as maintenance, we use reinforcement steel in almost all construction. We talk about it being certain building standards, building codes, certain strengths. This is the primary way that we reinforce most of our construction. And, Fred talked about the lifespan of buildings. Most buildings, based on typical construction, you're only going to get like a 50-year lifespan. And 50 years ago wasn't too far along. We have a lot of major buildings here that were built about 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And technically they're the end of their lifespan, but we're still using them.
Wow.
I'll talk a case where we as a company were asked to investigate a building, and we brought a team of consultants. We did a lot of high-tech testing, physical testing, a lot of the structures, the steel, and a major building that we investigated had to be vacated. The building was sold for the property, and that building probably was just under 50 years old.
My goodness.
So, we're thinking about the future of the country. We're talking about doing sustainable buildings that'll last the test of time, and buildings that will not have surprising structural damage and parts of floor slabs falling through to another floor, and you're wondering why the building's leaking because the roof slab has cracked because the steel has gotten compromised. So definitely this is a end to that kind of maintenance across the board.
Okay, so I have to ask you this. If there are skeptics out there that are wondering, we've heard all these things before. People were just a few years ago telling you plastics were the thing, and now here we are trying to get away from that as much as possible. Is there anything here? Is there an application for which this won't work? Is there a con? Is there anything that for you this won't be best and you should try this? Is there anything like that at all?
I just want to qualify. Great question. The real question, the pedal hit the metal question. But I made my reputation over 30 years in construction by promoting not what I think you could do or where I think it might work, but where it has been used and where it has worked. You talked about a bridge earlier. There's a DOT project here in Jupiter called the Bascule Bridge Project. It was designed, and is on the street. It was bid by the Florida Department of Transportation. And these folks are not going to put these types of materials, and BFRP, basalt rebar, is specified by name, by bar size on this project. I'll have this type of an exhibit with me when I come to the island in 2 weeks. I'll bring exhibits of where this stuff has been used, what engineers, Stantec, Craven Thompson, AECOM, where these people have considered this material for applications, so that, no, we're not asking you to be a guinea pig and try something that, who made that selection? However, having said that, now that we are looking at all this steel reinforced concrete that's beyond its 50-year service life expectancy, it does put the additional onus on us to have something safer, better, because at the end of the day, even though we weren't, it wasn't our product that is caving in, we're going to be held to a higher standard now. So one final thought that occurred to me as I was rambling, if the original builders of the true lost city of Atlantis had used Basiflex, it would have risen from the ocean by now.
Wow. Oh boy. Okay.
I think aesthetically you don't even need to cover it up in some cases.
Wow. Hey. All right. So Avery, we've got about a minute left. Remind us about what's going to be happening on May 25th.
Yeah. So on the 25th, we're going to be Fire Trail Road West. That's off Gladstone Road at one of the industrial park yards. Controlled by Overtime Roofing. He's a master roofer. Mr. Glenn Thompson and his team has agreed to host this event. And I think the ambience, being in a construction site and seeing a prototype of these products being used in a mini structure, we're going to be out there showing that off. And Fred Tinberg is going to be out there. That's the 25th at 10 a.m. To 2 p.m. We are going to offer some a little treats, something to eat, a little meal. We won't keep you there all day listening to us talk and probably, not be excited. We're going to feed you. And if you want to know more information or want to get an invitation or whatever, you go to Art Bahamas. That's A-R-T, artbahamas@gmail.com, artbahamas@gmail.com. Or you can call me on my cell, 557-5814. That's 557-5814. And for more information, if you want to prearrange your seats, it's an open invitation to all the stakeholders. Okay. But if you want to prearrange seating, I'm not going to put much seating. I think over time I'll have some picnic benches out there. But we're definitely going to go out there, have a good time, and try to introduce the Bahamas to something that we feel is going to sustain. And it's going to help all of us and all the stakeholders involved. We're inviting them down. We want to be able to talk with them, even the providers. We want to talk with them. We want to make sure that they have access to this for whenever the market opens for it. Notice I said when. The market opens for it, that they play a part in it.
Yeah, 10 seconds. When can we do this?
The 25th. You mean the event is the 25th,
right? But I mean, when can we start? When the market is mentioned?
It's up to our guys who certify it.
Yeah.
It's available now, but we will obviously any product that you're going to put into a structure for the public interest, for the Ministry of Works will have to approve the use of the product.
But we have access,
and that's that's currently happening.
Any idea how long that takes? Or
not sure. I mean, we'll confirm once we get more information.
Just have to talk to
okay.
Correspondences have been sent.
I need it already.
Yeah, right. People need it right now. All right, this has been very exciting. And again, the 25th, you can get more information. Avery Lightburn, thank you so much. Marcus Lang, thank you. And Fred Tingberg Jr., thank you very much. We're going to see you in a few weeks. But this is great stuff. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a final quick look at weather for your weekend. All right, so we're expecting a few rainy days. We've got streaming tropical moisture combined with multi-level troughing that's going to produce unsettled weather across the islands through tonight, and that's going to continue into the weekend. We're expecting a very wet weekend as that will continue across, producing showers and thunderstorms across the islands for the next few days. So keep that in mind and look out for flooding in flood-prone areas and dangerous marine conditions as well. But that is your final look at weather, and that is Morning Blend Business and Morning Blend for this Friday morning. Everybody have a great day. Chester, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
And thank you to Stephen Hanna as well. We'll be back on Monday morning with more Morning Blend right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight's trying to have a great one. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
The city of Miami is waiting for you, and Island Pay wants to take you there. Yes, you heard that correctly. Island Pay is giving away 5 priceless trips to Miami for 2 people just for using your MasterCard prepaid card. Every $30 you spend gets you a chance to win. Whether it's on groceries, gas, diapers, clothes, gifts, online, and others, it's all counting and getting you closer to an unforgettable experience in Miami. Don't have an Island Pay MasterCard yet? No problem. Get yours today. And Island Pay will give you $15 back. Island Pay, a better way to pay, a better way to win. Promotion running March 21st to May 18, 2022. Conditions apply. Visit islandpay.com to learn more.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Imagine driving your dream car, doing all the things you never thought you could, like perfecting your parallel parking skills or picking up your date. Everyone loves the dream. Stop dreaming. Start driving with a brand new offer from Scotiabank. With an auto loan from Scotiabank, benefit from no payments for up to 2 months, a low interest rate up to 9 years to repay, and free insurance for the first year up to 2.5% of the loan amount. Promotion ends June 30th, 2022. Stop dreaming and start driving today with an auto loan from Scotiabank.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.